And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll Content channel. My name is Tony Vicinda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy in the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways, but hands down, the most fun one is sitting down with those designers and some of my friends and playing those games. It's exactly what we're doing tonight with WanderSquares, which is a phenomenal introductory RPG for kids or adults alike. We're going to talk a little bit more about it, but let's meet the person who created it, and that's Matthew Carlson. Matthew, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online, but also tell us a little bit about WanderSquares.
Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Carlson. I am a design director at a tech company by day and a game designer by night. WanderSquares is the first game that I've designed. I came up with it because I wanted to have an easy entree into role-playing for my two kids, and so it's kind of designed with that in mind. Having said that, I've got a lot of, it's inspired by, of course, some of the classics. I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons and every other RPG, back in the late 70s, early 80s. I just dated myself. It's also inspired by things like Zelda, Spirited Away, Miyazaki movies, Adventure Time, kind of all my sort of modern favorites. So I'm really trying to bring all those together into a fun, adventurous RPG that'll make it easy for kids or new players to kind of find their way into role-playing.
Awesome. It is also absolutely gorgeous. I do have a copy of it right here. I'm actually going to be showcasing our map as we build it out, but all this amazing stuff comes in this beautiful box. I was telling Matthew before we went live, this is probably one of the most beautifully packaged games I've ever seen. There's a ton that comes with it. This is our first time getting to play it, and we're going to learn how to play along with y'all also too. So I'm going to kind of reset everything while we meet our other players tonight also too. So let's start with Aaron. Aaron, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online, and since I need a little bit of extra time, why don't you tell us a little bit about your character?
Wonderful. Hey, everybody. Aaron Gilly coming to you live from Richmond, Virginia. You can find me on all the socials at Hey Gilly Gilly. I am a learning and leadership coach by day, an improviser and gamer by night. And I am so excited to be playing WanderSquares. I am playing Trin Vu, who is a human scout, which is definitely one of my favorite archetypes to play character-wise across all platforms. I like people who are have some skills to them and also a little bit of sneakiness. So I am pleased as punch to be here and playing this great game with y'all.
Let's go ahead and meet our other player. That's Dan. Dan, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online, and tell us who you're playing tonight.
Hi there, everybody. My name is Dan. I use they, them pronouns. I am in North Carolina, not far from Aaron. Actually, I've known Aaron for longer than I've known Tony, and I've known Tony a good bit now. And I am I work at a financial advisory firm by day. I am a puzzle designer and podcaster and comedian and musician all by night, which leaves me very little time to sleep. But I've played a whole bunch of these games with Tony before, and it's always so much of a blast. I'm always excited to be back for it. So the character that I am playing this evening is Fixel Troikin, the Roof Runner, World of Trakovic, a human trickster. And similarly to Aaron, I love a good trickster type of character. I'm huge on bards and anything where I get to be a little goofy and a little sly is just very much in my corner.
Awesome. I am tonight playing. I'm gonna mispronounce their name again.
Firmikin.
Mossbinder.
Rhymes with Rimikin.
Firmikin rhymes with Rimikin. That's how he always introduces himself. Mossbinder. I'm a moss mage, which I think is the best kind of mage to be. I'm a fairy wizard because I was like, party full of humans, let's muck that up. World of Underwood is where I am from, and I am super excited because I have a cool moss hat. Lets me speak to fungi, moss, and lichens, and who doesn't want to be able to do all that cool stuff. So I am very excited to sit down and play the game. Also, normally we would open up by talking a little bit about like lines, veils, X card safety, other stuff like this. The tone of this game is a kid-friendly play game. Matt and I were talking about it a little bit before. I will go ahead and name some of our other kind of just standard tools, which is the X card. If anyone's confused at any point in time, or something is coming up that's a problem for you, maybe there's a type of monster that Aaron is especially scared of, you can say X, we'll pause the game, identify what it is, and we'll change what that type of monster is, move on. Or if you're just confused about what's happening, you can say X, pause the game, we'll move on in a different direction. The other thing, we have an open door policy, so if one of us needs to get up, move around, if we need to pause, take a break, those are all normal human things. We're all normal human people. You are probably a normal human person also, so if you need to pause and take a break during our adventure, you can also, and we will as well. But Matt, you were telling us, this isn't a game where you have to fight. You can make choices as you want to go. But tell us a little bit about the tone of the game.
I mean, it is very much an adventure, and all of your characters are part of a secret order called the Wanderkind that are explorers and adventurers that move from world to world, sort of trying to restore balance and righting wrongs. A little bit like kind of like Fantasy Jedi. They're definitely like skewing towards the good alignment. They're there to try and make things better, not to wreak havoc. And that's a little bit about kind of all the characters and all the Wanderkind. And you're going into this adventure. I think the general tone that I wanted to strike in the adventure and that I wanted to create was this sense of wonder, exploration, magic, kind of experiencing this amazing place, which happens to be the Underwood tunnels. And there's some very dark, kind of serious things going on there. There's like a mystery that you're trying to solve. But there's a lot of sort of fun about, half of the experience is things that are just put in to kind of create wonder and to create some of the marvel that I felt like kids look for in children's books, that they look for in the first games that they play, that they look for in their favorite movies. I just like trying to create that wonder within the game was like a central part of it. Of course, it is an adventure. You do have to fight some battles or cunningly evade some battles. There's ways to kind of like sneak your way around a lot of stuff and still succeed. But I wanted to give people new players the chance to explore different types of decisions, see how they would turn out. Yeah, and I've had my, I have two kids. They're tweens now. They were little kids when I started. They're the captive playtesters, and they would run through this at times and try and make all the wrong choices and see how that went, and then gradually learn. I'm like, hey, maybe I need to, try and do some of the right things this time, or not trying you don't fight all the monsters. Some of them might not be monsters. Some of them might be friends. There's like different paths you can take through the game.
Awesome. Well, I am, like I said, very excited to play. I know the guys are too. Let's go ahead and I'm going to hand things over to you. I've got the map space kind of set up, kind of emptied out now. We've got our three characters. I'm going to put them on the starting space. The rules I had said to leave these ones to the side. Do I just leave the portals and the final battle? Set them to the side for right now.
Those are the secret cards. And basically most of the rules, it's kind of a rules-like game, or a lot of the rules are just baked into the game itself. I'll walk you all through when we first kind of go through a battle. Battles are much simpler than most other RPGs. It should be pretty straightforward. But I'm going to read a super brief kind of intro to the story. It begins as a story, and then we'll begin. I think all you'll all need is, you got your character sheets. You'll also need a score sheet, because it does work off a point system. There are battle points, which are the equivalent of hit points. There's magic points, and then you will get experience as you go through. So those are the things you'll want to kind of write down as you go. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Yes. Okay. And ask questions at any point along the way, like, how does this work, or how do we play this? I'll step in and help out. A lot of the game, just really quick, it's kind of like an expanding map paired with a choose your own adventure. So I'll be reading through some options or actions you can take within each square, and you guys will decide. All right. So here we go. Your first mission takes place in the Winding Wood, an endless forest that stretches around the world of Underwood. Your party lands in a clearing, surrounded on all sides by enormous oak trees. A shadowy figure steps forth from the trees and calls to you. Welcome, Wanderkind, but move quickly. These woods are full of spies. Follow me. Under the shelter of the trees, the figure pulls back its cloak to reveal a woman's face with green eyes, dark brown hair, and slightly pointed ears. 2 small antlers sprout from just above her forehead. At second glance, her cloak seems to be made from branches and living leaves. She says, I am Cordwenna, the last tree singer of the Winding Wood. We sing to the trees to help them grow. A year ago, our woodland shrine was broken into. My brothers and sisters were kidnapped, and our most sacred magical items were stolen. The branch harp, the leaf notes, and the singing sap. Without them, the trees of the forest will die, and no new trees will grow. She unfolds a scrap of paper, revealing a drawing of the 3 items. You will know them when you find them. And just so you know, these are what they look like. I'll hold them up one by one. The singing sap, the branch harp, and the leaf notes. That's what you're going in to seek. Okay. Cordwenna says, I know where they were taken, but I can't recover them alone. Your mission is to bring back our treasures and save the woods. I'll guide you to the portal. You follow Cordwenna for miles through the woods, racing along hidden pathways. Suddenly, you reach the edge of a clearing filled with charred stumps. At its center is a ring of huge rocks with a single massive trunk planted upright in the middle. A pale green flame with 2 dark holes for eyes flickers ghost-like above the trunk. Cordwenna whispers, that's the portal, and that's the guardian. Get ready. Your mission begins now. She races out into the clearing towards the portal. The flame sees her and begins to grow in size, but with a word and a wave of her hand, Cordwenna casts a spell and the flame freezes in midair. She pulls a piece of chalk from a pouch and begins making strange markings on the trunk, lines, triangles, and arrows with strange letters. Suddenly the trunk groans and floats upward, revealing a dark, gaping hole in the earth. She turns to you and speaks. The magic items are all in there. I can feel them, but the spell blocks me. I can go no further. It's up to you now. Be brave and quick. The Winding Wood depends on you. I'll wait here for your return. You tighten your sword belts, ready your spells, and jump into the darkness. And now, Tony, you've set down square 01. Great. This is the start square. All right. You feel the wander spell take you through layers of dirt and rock, leaving you in a shadowy cave 100 feet beneath the surface. Roots dangle from the ceiling. Huge glowing mushrooms grow from the walls. 4 rough wooden doors lead from the room, 1 in each direction, north, south, east, and west. A banner hanging on the wall says, Long live King Molvar, Slayer of Worms, ruler of the Underwood. Choose an action. Inspect the mushrooms, tear down the banner, explore the room, or choose a door.
I mean, I got to go talk to those mushrooms. Like, there's not anything else I could choose to do at this point in time.
I'm with you. I honed it on those mushrooms too. I got to figure out what these little dudes are about.
Okay. The mushrooms glow with a bluish light and hum softly. When you take one of them off the wall, the glow slowly fades. And when I say experience, you can all write down experience. 5 points of experience. And now you can choose another action, or you can choose a door.
I mean, I just want to make sure. I did talk to this mushroom before I pulled it off the wall. I just want to make sure.
This mushroom didn't have a face. It was just a mushroom.
Okay.
That banner. Are we good with King Molvar?
Yeah. What information do we have on that king?
Not much yet. You want to tear it down and take a look?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll grab one side if you grab the other.
That sounds like a plan.
Yes.
You tear down the banner and you inspect it. It's painted with dark red paint that smells like rust on a long strip of rough gray fabric. Now add another 5 experience.
I got some bad vibes from this banner. I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling the banner.
I don't trust it.
It's inherently untrustworthy.
I'm gonna. You know what? I think it'll make a great cape, though.
oh, that goes without saying.
I'm gonna. If you want to take it with you, just add it to your notes of your stuff.
I mean, your size would make it a little counterintuitive to wear it because it would envelop you whole, my fairy friend. But you know what? Do you?
Yeah, I know. I want one of the long ones that kind of flows behind me. You know.
Yeah, so less of a pashmina and more like an actual royal cape.
Absolutely.
Respect that. Yes. I keep my eye on that banner.
What were the other things in the room?
I think you can just explore the room, and other than dirt, rocks, and small mushrooms, the rest of the room seems to be empty. Although, when you explore, you do find a treasure. Pull a treasure card.
Man, we're already
the blue cards.
Should I shuffle these
Tony's
first?
acting. You should do a quick shuffle. Even if you haven't shuffled, just pull one from the middle, and you can shuffle them after.
Branch and leaves. Effect: return this branch to kind tree creatures, or use when you need a branch or some leaves. I mean that tracks.
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. Jinx. I'm just kidding. You know, they do call me the dancing leaf, and so I do have a affinity for all things leafy. And I gotta tell y'all, those are some nice leaves.
You know that you always say they call you the dancing leaves, but you know I've only ever heard one person say it, and that's you. When you say
That's you.
You know,
they call me the dancing leaf.
It's my friends who go to a different school. You don't know them. It's just trust that they're very cool, very popular, and refer to me as the dancing leaf, and I won't be entertaining any more questions.
I guess do you want to dance with these leaves?
Yes, and Trend begins to do what can be best described as the same chicken dance they do in Arrested Development that Lindsay and Job do, and it's just really bad.
And I know exactly what that is. So,
Yes.
yes. Suddenly, the Underwood tunnels seem a little less dark and a little less spooky.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to hold on to the branch and leaves, Aaron?
Absolutely, I do.
And it's kind of communal treasure, but you got it. All right. So it's time. Pick a direction, north, south, east, or west, and then the storyteller assistant will pull another card.
What say you? I am not beholden to any certain direction, so I'd love input from the group.
Well, north is basically up, and south is basically down.
Okay.
I'm down for whatever. So, want to go south?
Sure.
Yeah, let's.
That's UT 06.
Yep. There we go.
Sick.
All right. A thriving mushroom village spreads across the cave. Tall towers and tiny houses are all made of living mushrooms that grow and shrink as you watch. The village's streets are filled with tiny shroomkins of all colors and shapes. As you approach, you hear thousands of tiny voices yell out, "Uplanders, Uplanders, protect the village!" A dozen mouth-sized mushroom soldiers scurry to block your path, and they shout up to you, "Go no further, giants, or else!" Here's your actions. You can talk to the shroomkins, you can attack the shroomkin village, you can offer the shroomkins something, or you can run for a door.
Only because I can look at it really quick, but everything is very, very specifically arranged in my desk. How do charm rules work? Because it says, see the rules of play for how fairy charm works.
1 second. So in the rules of play, if you skip to the charm spell, and I'll get there in 1 second. Of course, I should know my own spell. There we go. Sorry, buddy.
It's all right. This is in the fiction. This is just a lot of flashing back and forth between faces, like as the tension arises.
Dramatic stares, long high pitched note on a violin.
Well, I think before you dive into that, I think you could just actually try one of you. You could try talking, and while I get you the exact role for
we could 100% try talking. Unless somebody just wants to attack them, that's also an option too.
You all are small as hell. We mean you no harm, my friends. We come in peace.
You let them know that you mean no harm, and they lower their tiny spears. The villagers let you know that their champion, a giant shroom warrior, has been gone for days, and they ask if you've seen her.
Don't think so. What does she look like?
Yeah.
She looks like us, but 10 times as large, even as large as you, or even larger.
Wow. I think we definitely would have seen that.
Definitely would have noticed that.
I'd remember that.
So you guys haven't seen any massive human-sized mushrooms, heavily armed, walking around? Okay.
Not here.
So if you haven't seen her, they say that is too bad. That is too bad. That's too bad. They all say it at once. You hear 1,000 tiny mushroom voices, but they say we will still offer you food and rest, and they let you kind of say you can rest here on the edge of the village. Now everyone gets experience 20.
Wow.
Nice.
Thanks, y'all.
And everyone's BP. You guys are all filled up right now, but if you hadn't been, you would get battle points +4, and you would get magic points +4. So this might be a good place to come back to if you get a little low. Right now, you just get the experience. Okay, your other choices, you've kind of taken the peaceful route, but do you want to either, you could, just attack them. You could kind of change, or if you wanted to offer them something, you could try that too.
This is the only thing I've found that's anything like that, and I hope you don't know them. And I hand them the mushroom I pulled off the wall in the other room.
They go, one of our glowing brethren, you found it.
Oh, you guys met Todd.
And they take it, you see them put it down, and immediately it starts glowing again and giving a little bit of a shake. They give you 20 gems for returning one of their mushrooms back to the village.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. That's that square, and everyone got their experience down. So also, kind of as you spend a few moments resting and hanging out, you do notice, you find something. Draw another treasure card.
You got, I've got to remember to flip things
Shuffle,
upside down. We got a hatchet.
Ooh.
Chop through wood with ease, +1 on battle rolls against wood monsters.
A good thing to have. Okay, we got a stick, we got a hatchet. And you can actually use the stick on the hatchet at all. Or the hatchet on the stick. I can't remember how that goes. Okay. Time to choose another door. So I think, Aaron, you might have chose last time. Daniel, do you want to choose a direction?
Yes, let's go east.
All right. To the east. We're going here. UT 17.
The first thing you see is a massive mole the size of a bear with 6 legs, powerful claws, squinty eyes, and sharp tusks. A mole guard with a whip, who looks like a kind of another sort of mole humanoid creature, standing there with a whip, a spear, and a bulky pouch, is forcing the mole bear to dig a deep hole in the middle of the room. Dirt flies up to the ceiling with each swipe of the creature's huge claws and lands in piles around the room. Actions. You could talk to the mole bear. You could offer the mole bear a treat. You could battle the mole bear, or you could run for a door.
You see my hand get very close to an arrow, looking at my party members like,
Wait. No. I think maybe not a great plan right now. Let's talk to this. Let's talk to the mole bear and the weird guy who's maybe looks like controlling him in a way that might not be cool.
Or we just go.
I think we need to see if there's any injustice being done here first.
Yes. Also, if I get a chance to ride a mole bear, I have to take that chance.
That's fine. I'm just saying there's an old saying back where I'm from, and that's, you know it. Go ahead and say it. You say the first part, I'll say the second part.
Those who express cowardice
Ride on moles.
Well then, I'm scared.
You know, my same friends who call me the dancing leaf also say that there's no time like the present to
Ride on moles.
ride on moles.
So are we choosing option 3 to battle the mole bear here?
No.
I think it was maybe talk to the guy to see if
Try to talk to the mole bear.
Yeah.
The mole bear looks.
Yeah.
Okay. The mole bear looks up from its hole, sniffing the air and squinting at your party with small, beady, angry eyes. The mole guard yells at the huge creature, "Attack the uplanders!" But it just returns to digging. Choose another action.
Hand on arrow and bow.
No, wait. It just chose not to attack us. Why would you attack it?
No, I meant let's shoot the dude.
I'm on board with that, but it didn't seem like that specifically was one of the options that we had available to us. So I don't know if we can attack the dude, spare the mole bear.
Also, I'll say that he told it to attack, but it didn't attack. And I mean, this may be some sort of copacetic relationship. Like they just may think they're in charge, but the mole bear may actually be in charge.
All right. I put my bow down, put my arrow back and say, all right. Voice of reason wins out again.
We don't have any treats we can give it, do we?
No, I had a mushroom before. I don't anymore. I mean, I guess maybe if it likes gems. What does a mole bear eat?
What do moles eat?
Grubs.
Things under the ground.
I'm going to see if I can find a grub for this thing to eat. Can I do that?
But before you do that mole guard one more time, he says, like, "Attack the uplanders." He says it one more time, and he gives that mole bear a big poke with his spear.
Oh.
Okay. Arrow out. Sorry, y'all. Fling. I attack the guard or the dude controlling the mole bear.
Okay, get your dice. You're gonna and oh, by the way, do you have any? Just check your character sheet. Let me know if you got any. Your Trin. Does Trin have any plus anythings? No.
Just for speed, yes.
Just take your shot.
Okay.
Shoot your shot.
So what's your roll? The mole guard gets 11.
I rolled a 5.
The arrow goes boing. But the mole guard gets pretty scared. He's like, "What? You're attacking?" And he runs away. You see him run out a door to the east and disappears from the party. So now there's just a mole bear in the room just digging.
I'm sure this will in no way, shape, or form come back to make us regret it later.
Probably not.
This is going to be I almost said Pavlov's gun, but that's not a thing. Chekhov's gun, like a Chekhov's mole bear guard.
Chekhov's mole bear guard.
Before the end of the adventure, he must go off.
That if there's a mole bear on the mantle in the first act of the adventure, it will come back. To attack at some later point.
Well,
but it seems to just be kind of just pretty happy with digging and looking for worms and digging holes, even with the mole guard gone. So you could either, of course, if you still want to battle it, you could try, but you could just explore the room if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, agree. And I also want to grab my arrow before I go.
Okay, go grab the arrow, and I think I can't remember how many arrows you got with you.
Good inventory.
But you got 12,
right,
so now you have 12 again. 12 still.
Perfect.
Okay. And you can pull another treasure card. Slingshot.
Ooh,
nice.
Tricksters or scouts can use the slingshot for distance attacks or to hit distant objects.
Very convenient in the Underwood tunnels. Okay. So, my friends, it is time to pick a direction. Tony, you want to take a pick this time?
Sure. I actually think I picked south originally. I don't think that was Aaron.
Aaron,
do you want to pick?
I kind of like the idea of going south yet again.
All right. UT 18.
Got it. Trapped in the middle of this room is a tree horn, a massive creature, part tree and part giant, with trunks for legs, thick branches for arms, and 2 branch-like horns raising from its head. Padlock chains bind its arms to spikes pounded into the floor. It thrashes against the chains and roars when you come in. Standing to the side is a well-armored mole guard, carrying a long spear and a small hatchet. Your actions are to talk to the tree horn, try to unlock the chains, battle the mole guard, or run for a door.
Is this the same mole guard or a different mole guard?
A different one.
Okay.
I would like to try to unlock the chains.
Yeah.
Okay. The luckiest player, who is the... and you are our trickster, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The luckiest player runs over to unlock the chains. You need to roll an 8 or higher.
That's going to be an 11.
You unlock the chains. Okay. You unlock the chains, and in one swift move, the tree horn lifts up a fist as big as the trunk of a tree itself, and he pounds the mole guard into the ground with a single blow as a wooden fist. Bunk.
Yes.
Victory.
I want to take the tree, the branch and leaves, and give it to this thing and say, my liege, an honorarium to you.
The tree horn says, "Hello, thank you for this tree part, but you may need it for your adventure. Please keep it with you. Thank you for your help. You are true friends of the woods. Take this tree horn seed for good luck." And he gives you a huge seed, kind of shaped like an acorn seed, but as big as your fist. You can write that down in your stuff. So you now have a tree horn seed, and your experience is 40.
Whoa.
The tree horn says, "I must go to protect and save more of my fellows." And he also exits the room and runs through a door.
I definitely was doing slashes up until this point and definitely just decided to switch to writing and the amount of XP I have.
Tony, you've been watching too much Shawshank.
That's what's in the room. You still get to looking around. You can explore the room. There is a hole in the ground where once a mole guard existed, but has been driven so far and so fast down. There's no trace of him. You can draw another treasure card.
Ooh.
The ghost room.
Ooh. Breathe in the spores of the ghost room to make the party invisible for 1 square.
And that's not the last of the mushroom-themed treasure cards that you'll see.
I'm very excited about it.
Okay.
Picked the right character for this adventure. I'm OP in the Undertunnels. I'll pick, unless there's something else anybody wants to do in the room. We're good? All right. UT 23. We're going to go west because I'm conscious of how close we are to the edge of a map.
This chamber appears to be a wood shop. Tools hang on the walls and sawdust covers the floor. In the middle of the cave are 3 huge logs carved to look like snarling hounds. As you walk in, a mole guard in a ragged apron hammers a rusty spike made of iron, into one of the logs, then immediately runs out of the cave. With a howl and a spray of sawdust, the carved log comes to life and charges at your party.
Oh, no.
Choose an action. Talk to the bark dog, battle the bark dog, remove the spike from the bark dog's back, or run for a door.
I mean, we've got to take the spike out of this thing, right? It seems like the most humane thing to do.
It does.
Yeah. Let's take the spike out of this bad boy.
Okay, your strongest player must make a strength roll of 9 or higher to remove the spike from the bark dog's back.
That is not me. That's not me.
I've got a 7 for
that's you.
That's you.
Right.
That's you.
All right. Wish me luck. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. That is a 7.
So you needed to roll a 9. So now, unfortunately, you're going to battle with the bark dog. So suddenly, this massive log with sharp, jagged wooden teeth is charging at you. So everyone, and you're now kind of you engaged with it. So you're all three of you right there close. It's time to go into battle. Does everyone have their dice?
Yes.
Yes.
Now that we're going straight into a battle, I'll explain how this works really quickly. Everyone rolls at once. There's no rolling for initiative. Everyone rolls at once. If you roll higher than the monster loses a point. If the monster rolls higher than you lose a point. And if you tie with a monster, then neither of you lose a point. So I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna call out what I get. You can all call out. You'll need two 6-sided dice. You'll call out what you got, and then you'll need your score sheet to mark down whether you lost or won. Everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody else cool if I use this hatchet?
Go for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the hatchet is going to give you a +1 on your battle roll. So Fremican, you will add a +1.
Yes, that is very important.
Yes. All right, here we go. Everyone, first round. Monster gets 7.
I got 8.
5.
Okay. Sorry, Trin and Fixel, you lose 1, and Monster loses 1.
Wait, I lose 1?
Yes, because you got 5. The monster rolled a 7.
I got an 8.
Oh, you got an 8. All right.
Two of us got 8s. One of us got a 5.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so then, and the monster got 7. The monster loses 2, and whoever got 5, you lose 1.
That'd be me.
All right.
Ow!
And by the way, this is the first time we've done a battle. If you want to step back and shoot an arrow, or if someone wants to step back and cast a spell, you can do that, but it doesn't go into. It's treated as a separate roll against the monster.
Yeah.
So you're taking and you might find, Fremican, you might find times in this adventure where you're like, my battle points are really low. I'm going to step back and shoot a spell. That means that your roll isn't going to go against the monster, and you'll roll separately up to whether that spell succeeds. Or Trin, if you step back and you shoot an arrow, you'll roll separately to see if that arrow hits.
So I'll just say that's so from an old school, somebody who's played a lot of old school RPGs, it's a super fun combat mechanic that kind of is reminiscent of early D&D that doesn't exist in modern stuff, but it also keeps things very clean for play also too. So I love that. Rolled Standard was just commenting in chat how simple the combat mechanics theme, and there is this really great in the thing, this is how battles work. It's how to battle. All the stuff you need.
And these were things that through playtesting it with friends and family and local gamers, these are the types of things we discovered, and that's why that how to battle and spells and arrows sheet. I wanted to have it be as simple as a postcard where everyone, that's all you need to know to have with you. Okay, second round. Monster gets 7.
11.
I got 11 also.
I got a 3.
Okay, so the monster's down to 8, and Fixel, you lose 1. Monster rolls an 8.
9.
4.
8.
Okay, so Fixel, you tie. Aaron, I'm sorry. Tren, you lose 1, and Tony, what'd you get?
I got 9.
9. Okay, monster. The bark dog is looking pretty chopped up. There is definitely some sawdust and bark flying in this room. Monster gets a 10.
7.
I got an 11.
I got an 8.
All right. Tren, you lose 1. Monster is starting to one of its wooden legs is a little bit wobbly right now. It's definitely starting to it's spraying a lot of sawdust. Monster rolls a 9.
12.
My luck has not held. So I'll take a hit.
Yeah. I got an 8. So.
Okay, next one.
12 for
Monster rolls a 4.
8 for that one.
6.
7.
one of the wooden branches of the monster's leg just falls flat off. It gives a huge roar. I mean, you can get a sense of this thing doesn't seem like so much an intelligent creature. It seems more like a kind of a almost like a wooden puppet or something like that. But it's definitely like, it's down to 3 legs. Monster rolls a 7.
9.
Ugh.
Wait, you got a 9, Aaron? I'm sorry. We can roll through it one more time. What'd you get, Aaron?
6.
So the monster basically, you have chopped it to pieces. Like, it is now where it was one big log. Now it's 3 little logs, and it just kind of collapses in sawdust. So, and your experience, everyone gets a 20. You've succeeded your first battle, and now you get to take a look and explore the room, see if you find any treasure.
Awesome. Can I go look at the nail that was in its head?
Yes, you can. So you look at the nail in its head, and it's more than a nail. It is like a big, hefty spike, just about like 6 inches long, maybe about an inch round, and it was driven in with a heavy mallet. And when you look at it, it seems like it has this kind of like a rusty, oily shimmer to it. Do you touch it?
I mean, of course.
So when you touch it, it burns. It gives you a little bit of it, like it actually kind of like it has this like, and as if something is just like, you swipe it off, but you lose one BP.
Oh no!
I mean, you had to know that was going to happen, right?
I did. I just, how sometimes when you smell something that smells really bad, but then you got to smell again just to make sure it smells as bad as you thought it smelled, and then you smell it a third time,
and you see there on the ground is a wooden crate filled with these rusty iron spikes, and on the side of it, scrawled in the side of it, is the name. On one side it says MR, and on the other side it says Rust.
Ooh, Morust. It's
Molvar.
And another thing in the room is there's a whole other one of these monsters, these bark dogs, that has been created, but it doesn't have a spike in it, so it hasn't come to life.
Do we put a spike in another one of these to see if the same thing happens?
No, I don't.
What if it listens to us, though?
Yes.
That's a big if.
I mean, that wasn't that hard. And then it flashes back to the battle where I was mostly just wrapped up in that cloak, just swinging that hatchet, totally blissfully unaware of what was happening around me as you got mauled by a bark dog, and then it flashes back forward.
They say a ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are for, my friend.
That's true. They ship in harbor is safe. Ride a mole bear.
That's right.
And Gorgor Big in the chat, I will not be tasting it. This character does not want it. I'm not gonna die by sticking something in my mouth on this stream. That's not what's gonna happen.
Not this time.
Don't eat rust, kids.
It happens a lot.
Don't eat rust.
Yeah,
don't eat rust.
Yeah, you guys, the tetanus shots have not been invented in this universe.
They don't exist in this universe. Are there any other of these rust nails? I don't want to leave the nail here.
I mean, it seems like something that is pretty. I mean, there's a whole kratom here. So
I don't like that.
I'll say. So I pull out my my bedroll and I say, all right, let's take some of these bad boys with us, because they may come in handy. Maybe a cool story for later. So let's take some of these with us.
Yeah,
that's safe. Do you want to find a way to pick them up, or?
I've got a giant cloak here. Maybe we could just wrap it around.
I like that.
This whole box of these things.
I like that.
And I just might, since you are kind of the fairy character, I might let someone else carry that for you, because you won't really be able to fly with a bunch of heavy iron rusty spikes.
I gave the cloak. I was thinking maybe one of y'all could do the lifting.
I'll do it.
I was gonna say you were the strong one.
All right, I, Trin Vu, the dancing leaf, will carry this crate.
I need to stay limber for my tricks.
Okay.
Are you carrying the whole crate, or are you just taking a bunch of them with you?
I'm taking a bunch with me.
Okay. All right. We can leave the box behind.
Well, we flip the crate over upside down on the rest of them to thoroughly hide them.
Yeah, I do the folksy thing where I sling the bag over my shoulder like a bindle, like Paul Bunyan style, and say, "All right, let's move on."
All right, time to choose another direction and explore.
I say,
Actually, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One quick second. Did you all pull a treasure card?
We did not.
Oh no, that one goes in your. That's a special one. You put that aside. Thank you very much.
I was like, wow, we just got part of the way. The heart of the cards was with us.
There we go. A glow moth.
Ooh, a glow moth. Ask the glow moth to detect hidden monsters. If there are hidden monsters, its tail glows brightly.
And the glow moth seems very smart. And by the way, this is about the size of a crow. It is not a tiny moth. It is a really big moth. And it says, and it nods its head. It doesn't speak, but it gives a little flash of its glowing abdomen just to say, like, yeah, get it. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I say, let's go south yet again.
Why would you do that to me? That's so far south. I mean, I love to get down, but that's very down. That's fine. We can go down one more time. This will be the last time we can go down.
Everyone get a big table. Kids, everyone watching, ask your parents for a really big table.
UT 28.
Your ears ache the moment you walk into this room. A massive mogre, half mole, half ogre, sits on a boulder, singing about lost love at the top of its lungs. In one hand, it holds a slender brown bottle with a living branch for a cork. It's the singing sap. Its other hand rests on a spiked club the size of a small tree. Several mole guards lay unconscious on the floor. They all have moss stuffed into their ears. The mogre stops when you come in and roars,
"Yes, a new audience. Good timing. Lazy mole guards fall asleep. Here is my new song."
Now you choose an action. You can steal the bottle from its hand. You can battle the mogre. You can challenge the mogre to a singing contest. Or you can run for a door.
I challenge the mogre to a singing contest.
Challenge the mogre to a singing contest. The mogre says,
"Yes, I go first."
Wait.
Yes.
Are you sure that's how the rules go?
I think I've got.
No, I'm asking the mogre. Asking us in character.
I did right.
I wasn't challenging you, Matthew. I was
He says,
challenging the mogre.
"Yes, I go first. I'm Mogre. I the best singer in all the Underwood tunnels. Of course, that's how rule go. Mogre invent contest."
And he starts to sing. He starts a song about damp caves, eating giant snails, slaying adventures, and all his favorite things. It makes your ears hurt and your heads ache. You all lose 2 BP just from listening.
"Okay, your turn."
This is very derivative.
And now it's your turn to sing. So as you start to sing, the mogre's face turns into a deep scowl. It stops you.
"You sing terrible. Here, take sip of this. Help you sing better."
He hands you the bottle. He's handed you the singing sap. You all quickly take a sip of the sap, and suddenly a song escapes your mouths in a language you don't know. It's a song about seeds, roots, branches growing upwards. You see a vision of green growing wood, of a green growing wood full of life. The mogre's scowl fades away and his eyes open wide.
"It's beautiful,"
he whispers, and then he passes out and crashes to the floor. The song didn't just affect the mogre. All around the room, you see tiny twigs and scattered acorns have taken root and started to grow, all just from a few notes of the song. Each player gains 4 battle points.
Woo.
And if and you have your magic points restored to the max.
And I'm assuming our battle points cap at whatever they started with, correct?
They cap at whatever you started with.
Johananon, it is fun. This is a fun game. We are enjoying it. I just won a singing contest against a Mogre. And even though I understand moss, fungi, and lichen, I didn't recognize any of that language. It wasn't a common rot tongue.
Yeah. No, this is something different, but it does remind you of Corduena and the person who set you off this mission. You definitely get this thing that has this feel of singing and of the woods above and of trees growing. So this is more tree related than moss related. Another thing, so you might want to carefully scooch the whole map back because or definitely don't go any further south.
That's not actually off the table. That's towards my PC. Everything's upside down for me
okay,
right now. So
all right.
It's not going to fall off.
Tony, one other thing to dig out, and that hopefully you set it aside, you'll want to dig out square 30 or 31. It's a portal square. So it has all these like rays of light going upward, and just grab one of those. Okay. And you now let's say that appears to the east of that square that you were just in.
Okay.
You can just take that square and put it down. Perfect. So that suddenly this a glowing door opens up on one side, and you can kind of see through it. Do you want to step in?
I mean,
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always step through a glowing door when that's an option.
You know what they say about glowing doors.
I do.
Bite 'em all.
You say the first half.
Oh, and by the way, I'm so sorry. One other thing. Now, if you can, Fremican, if you can take a look through your deck of cards, you should have a card for the singing sap.
I was wondering about that. I was going to ask.
So sorry. And you can find the other. There's the singing sap, the branch harp, and the leaf notes are the ones you should pull out and put to the side.
Oh man, look at all these other cool cards.
But pretend you never saw them.
I'm going to shuffle again afterwards. I mean, I'm inclined to step through. Every time I write a mole bear, I write it through the glowing door.
And before you do that, I just wanted to have you take a look at the singing sap, and I have one more thing to share about that. All right, here we go. It's the singing sap. This is one of the major magic items. So you found one of the things that Corduena has tasked you to find. And write this down in your notes. There's something pretty great. While the players carry the singing sap, they get a +1 modifier to all of their luck rolls.
Oh.
So not too shabby. Okay. Now, want to step into the portal or see that square?
I do.
Yes, please.
Okay. So in the middle of this room is a fountain of shimmering light rising up from a stone circle set in the ground. Within that circle, tiny stars float upward. This is a wander portal, built by the wander kind as a shortcut to move in, out, and around the adventure. And beside the portal, there's a few rocks and mushrooms. Some actions you can take. You can step into the portal, or you can leave through another door. What would you like to do?
I first want to check to make sure none of those mushrooms are like 6 feet tall.
All these mushrooms are small, kind of normal size, just seem to be, and when you talk to them, they seem to be kind of like peacefully sleeping, almost as if they're in bliss.
Oh, well, then I won't pick one of them. That seems inappropriate.
Yeah, let's leave them be.
Yeah.
I've stepped through.
Yeah, let's do it.
You step into the portal, and you get this kind of like a shimmering, shaking feeling, like you're about to move somewhere, but then it subsides. But the one thing that it does feel is like, you feel this amazingly kind of health and magic and all these things sort of flowing through your veins. Like if you weren't already at your top, you feel like this would be a good place where you could step in to get a little refresher.
Nice. This feels
so for
good.
those of us who aren't at their top of battle points, does that refresh us up to the top?
It refreshes you to the top.
Beautiful.
Nice. Thank goodness.
Wait, you guys aren't at the top of your battle points?
No, some of us actually got hit.
Yeah, don't do that.
Again, it wasn't a choice. We weren't able to just kind of fly around with an axe, just effortlessly dodging that bark dog.
Yeah, I do know one word in bark dog.
Please share.
Bark.
Do you feel good about that?
I mean, it's a legitimate. I mean, like it's like hello. It's like the first thing they say when they see you. They go bark, 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 bark.
So, and now there's another magical thing about this square that I'm going to share with you now that you have found one of the major magic items and unlocked the portal. Here's one more thing about that. If you, any one of your party gets to like battle point 0 and your party is magically kicked out of this adventure, there is where you restart. It's almost like you found a little save point within the game.
Nice.
So you've unlocked one of the portals, and this is a place where like now you've gotten this far and you haven't, your party is still intact. You guys survived this far. If you lose a battle, if one player loses the battle and you get zipped out of the adventure, here's where you restart.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay, time to choose another direction.
It can't be south. There's just a cave wall there. It doesn't exist.
Do we want to head west a couple of rooms?
If that is how that works, I'm down for that.
You can go, you can retrace your steps. So so that would be going west back through the back there, and you're there, and the Mogre is still sleeping, just snoring as if it's having the best dream of its life. There's like the mole guards are still unconscious. The room's a little bit greener. Some of the things that were starting to grow when you sang the song before are starting to like grow up a little bit more. But that's how that room is.
Whoosh. 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 UT25.
You guys are hitting all the good ones. A beautiful song greets your ears as you walk through the door. The 3 tree singers are singing in the middle of the room. You've found Cordwena's siblings. Coiled around them is a long, armor-plated dragon with a pointed snout and 100 legs. Luckily, it seems to be asleep. When the singers see you, they gesture to be quiet, and they point to the snoring dragon without ever stopping their continuous song. In the corner of the room is a long, slender chain with a spiked collar. Choose an action. You can talk to the tree singers. You can battle the sleeping Dracopede. You can chain up the sleeping Dracopede, or you could run for a door.
That part of me feels like we should just go to the next one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let sleeping Dracopedes lie.
Yes, I believe that's the.
Y'all hear the clank of a chain behind you as I drop the collar and go, yeah, we should just go.
You see, when you drop the collar and the chain clinks, you see all of the tree singers wince a little bit.
Firmican.
But it doesn't, the Dracopede does not wake up.
Firmican? Come on.
So what action do you want to take?
Let's go north. Let's bounce and go north.
Yes.
You're gonna make them sing for like forever?
We'll
Yeah.
come back and handle this maybe later when we're better equipped.
You make it effortlessly to the door to the north. The trapped tree singers follow you with their disbelieving eyes and sad, mournful expressions as you escape the room.
And you see me like mouth on my way out, like, I'm sorry.
Okay. You want to give me the number?
Yeah, sorry. It's UT02. Give the audience a little close up there also. Bam.
This room is empty except for 7 crude stone wells of different sizes. And peering over the edge of the biggest well is a giant toad. And when I say giant, I mean the size of a small child. When it sees you, it croaks, "Wow!" and disappears into the water. Here's so that's what it looks like. There's where we're at. So choose an action. You can drink from the wells, you can call to the toad, you can look into the wells, or you can run for a door.
I'm curious about what these wells are like. I don't want to drink from them, but I do want to look in them.
Okay. You look into the wells. The wells are dark and very deep. In one, you can see the faintest sparkle at the bottom.
Sparkle.
I'm gonna talk to the toad. So couldn't help but notice there that you're pretty big for your size.
Oh my gosh, you can't just say that.
Do you have any sense of tact?
No decorum.
I mean,
The toad says,
I have big bones. What do you want, Uplanders?
oh no,
Are you-
I mean, like,
are you-
I was just trying to figure out how I get that kind of physique going. Like,
Ugh.
Oh, you're trying to trick me. Are you going to steal me like the monsters who took my brother?
steal you
Give me a
like the
treat.
monsters.
Well, the monsters, you know them. The mole guards are all through this place. You give me a treat or I'll call to them.
do you give him a treat? Yes or no?
Oh,
Do we give him the glowing moth?
are we giving the glowing mouse? We give him the ghost shroom. Also, that might be interesting.
Yes. Or the treehorn seed.
Or check your stuff, flip your sheets, see if you got any goodies. You might have brought some food with you.
The treehorn seed. We got flip my sheet. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me put some boom in it.
Got to look at all your stuff.
I got stuff back here.
Yeah.
I got more spells also. What a putz am I?
Or we put one of the spikes in this thing from earlier.
Are you kidding me? you
So what's it going to be? Are you
want to
going
yank this toad?
He's waiting. This toad is waiting.
I'm quickly pulling out my rules of playbook so I can look up my spells, which I should have done already. And I deeply apologize to everybody.
Oh, that's okay.
However,
Yeah.
I feel like I wonder about cornucopia.
Yeah. Okay.
Just the name itself, for me, implies that it might be helpful.
Okay. You. All right. Almost
The
there.
spell
Sorry.
book. Mighty wind.
The enchanted bag. So you pull out a little bag. You had a little pouch, and that enchanted bag swells with food, fruits, meat, and bread, enough for your entire party 2 times over. So that'll take. And by the way, you can cast a spell if you need to boost your battle points at some point. You get a little low. Perfect spell to cast. But this just blows it away, and the toad's eyes open wide. You see it open its mouth as like a huge maw, and it grabs half your food, and suddenly half of the food that you made just disappears into this like weird child-sized toad. So there's definitely something a little bit magical going on, but it's like, oh, delicious. And then it says, hey, I have a secret for you. Watch out for my greedy big brother. He's guarding something special, and it will take more than snacks to catch his eye. And then the toad disappears to the bottom of the well. 10 points of experience for all of you.
Nice.
I want to go look at that sparkly, shiny thing that was at the bottom of the well I looked at.
So you look deeper, and you can see that there's something sparkling way at the bottom of the well. It's just outside of your vision, but the water is very, very clear, and it looks like it's a bottle of some sort, and it's holding something sparkly inside it.
So someone come hold my feet and help me dip down into this pool.
I gotcha.
Okay. Anyone have a rope? I don't
Um,
think Trin the dancing leaf can swim, but maybe if you just hold your breath, and you can take that plunge.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, let me just try to hold my nose. And
I'm
get
checking
down there.
Fixel. I think Fixel's got to have a rope.
I don't see it in the stuff here.
Nope, he does not have a rope. Let's see.
Yeah, Fixel, every time we go on one of these, I'm like, buy a rope before we leave town. And you're like, I've got one in my pack.
Yeah, and then every time I forgot to pack it.
No ropes. So yeah, and I don't think Trin knows how to swim. So we can give it a try. We can roll and see if you can.
I mean, I just realized how many spell points I have that I should be casting more spells. Could I know it's not the intended use. Could I use magic web to attach? Can I cast magic web to attach to his foot along a thick strand of sparkling web?
It's usually that spell is usually used to sort of create a wall and a space or something.
I do understand what it is typically used for. I'm asking if I'm allowed to do this.
Because this is a role-playing game, of course you can. So you cast that against the wall, and like you cast the magic web, and you're able to like peel off a little bit of a strand to it. You connect it to Trin's foot, and Trin's already pretty tall, so you don't have to like. And then Trin, you take the plunge, and I'm gonna roll and see if like you can. Just whether you can swim down and make it. If you roll greater than 8, you'll have reached the bottom. It's deep down.
Gotcha. Is this any particular ability that I'm using here? Like for the
you could use actually. Let's see. Let's do. I think this would really depend on your speed. So we'll give you a +1.
Gotcha. So in that case, it's an 8 exactly with the +1.
Okay. All right. So you make it to the bottom. And you grab kind of like the little hook in the neck of a glass bottle, and the party pulls you up. And what you find is you've managed to pull up a big glass bottle, and it's holding 50 gems. So you guys, 50 gems total. You guys can split it however you want, but that's how much is in the glass bottle.
Great.
Hey everybody, I found this thing of 40 gems that we can split up. I'm kidding. There's 70 in there. We'll split it. We'll split it up 23 apiece, maybe one for the kitty. So.
All right, write that down. And then the magical web kind of fades into nothing, fades back into kind of the mist. Mm-hmm. But you were able to get that treasure. All right.
Hey, did y'all see that toad? It was huge.
A big toad.
Yeah.
And you get a sense that some of these wells might connect to each other, and they might go deeper into somewhere else. There's a little bit of like a stirring in the water. Like you are underground, so.
Y'all want to go down and check these out?
Like Super Mario style?
Yes.
I don't know what a Super Mario is.
Trin then tells a very long story about the legend of the Mario brothers and their legendary exploits into the depths of tunnels. It takes like 2 hours.
Excellent. Yes, exactly like that.
I thought you'd relate.
Fremican, I'm looking at your spells. You do have air bubble on the back of your spells. That could be something where I believe that creates a bubble of air around the party. So you could go down there and look.
I do. I was going to see if anybody else wanted to go with me. I didn't want to go by myself.
I would love to join.
All right.
Let's see. And I believe that will cost you another. So that was 4 magic points for the cornucopia, and 4 magic points for the web, for casting the web. How many magic points? How are you doing on magic points?
I have 44 to start.
So I think you're doing okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's see. Air bubble. Boom, 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 boom.
I just had it pulled up.
Yep. That'll take another 4 MP. It's going to last for 1 round. It's going to create a 10-foot sphere around you, the wizard, and you'll definitely all be able to fit within that. So if you want to cast it and sink to the bottom of a well, you can.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
All right. So you find the biggest well that all of you can fit in, and you sink down to the bottom, and you see that all of the 7 wells seem to lead to a room in the bottom that all kind of unites and connects together. Down there, you see a couple things like a couple broken glass jars. You see a book that seems to be made out of some waterproof material. It's in a language that you can't read, and you find just a few other like baubles, bits and pieces, but it's real murky. There is definitely a little bit of moss down there in between the tunnels, and you catch a little glimpse, which looks like the toad zipping up one of the other wells, and that's really all that's down there. You found the treasure, but these things definitely do connect.
I do definitely want that book for later.
Yes.
Okay, so you grab a book written in some strange sort of toad-like language, but it's undecipherable at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if it rains, it'll help protect us, though.
Yeah, you can tuck that book in a pocket, and then you can sense that your air bubble is starting to wane a little bit, so it might be a good time to resurface.
Yeah.
Your bubble floats back up to the room of Seven Wells up above, and it seems as if the toad, you see these wet footprints going out a door to the north, but it seems as if the toad might have fled, hightailed it out of there, and now that's all that's in this room.
All
So
right.
really quickly,
I'm gonna draw a treasure
second,
card.
and I'm going to check and see. Yes, you can look around and draw another treasure card. A shroom villager. So tucked behind one
What
of the wells.
are you doing here?
Do you want to read the
Help
description
the
for
lost
shroom villager?
shroom kind find its village. Add +1 to any smart rolls while it's with you.
And this shroom villager is about 6 inches high. So there it is. It's a shroom villager, and you could, there's a couple things you could do. It's gonna, yes, it will add to your smart rolls if you take it with you. However, it seems to be a little bit lost. When you find it, it goes like,
Well, who are you? Uplanders? Where are you from? Have you seen my village? Ever since the great disruption, the big shuffle, I've been lost.
and it's not a human-sized shroom villager, but it is a shroom villager, and it seems like it's been lost. So what would you like to do?
We did come into your village, and maybe we can help you get back there. Maybe we don't.
You can help me? You can help me find my village again?
Well,
Please take me there.
We could, being the operative word.
What's in it for us?
Yeah, what's in it for us? Yeah.
Sweeten the pot.
I'm sure they would treat you kindly if you were to help one of the shroom villagers, but I can't understand your moral ambiguity. I thought you seemed like such nice adventurers. Like you
don't
helped
know
the
us.
frog, you gave him treats. Oh,
Wait a minute, you watched us
right.
do that? You watched us
Suddenly,
do that and
like-
didn't say anything?
The tone and
The-
conceit of the game was that we were good
The
and noble
shroom
and
villager,
kind.
the shroom villager sneezes. It goes,
Achoo!
but it doesn't look as if it sneezed accidentally. It looks like it sneezed at you. And so suddenly, all of you feel a little bit dizzy. Your heads kind of waver and your vision blurs. And by the time you look up, the shroom villager is gone. You can put that
Oh,
card back in your stack.
Aw.
Gilly.
You know what?
Gilly.
Okay, I learned my lesson, okay? But, so, with any other...
Wait. Can I just say, what did you not, when it said add +1 to smart rolls while it's with you? But anyhow, let's go.
we could have just not said anything.
That's true. Yeah, true. It was a moral conundrum. All right.
I'm just curious, is that a GM flex when people are like kind of stepping outside of the boundaries of the rules, or is that just a fun thing to do?
That was just a fun thing to do.
Excellent.
Gotcha.
I was on board either way. I was just curious.
I love it.
Well, I mean, so, and basically kind of like a little behind the music magic here. I also wanted to make this a really easy, straightforward game for storytellers to play, for them to be able to like have agency, to have some guardrails for everything. So it's pretty easy to follow the rules, follow the book, do all these things, do just like it says, but have the latitude to start getting into the true DM experience when they're ready for it.
I love it.
If
All
just
right.
so y'all, just between the three of us, if I see that thing, it's dead on sight. Just
mean,
so
what-
you know,
Did you not learn the lesson just now about acting harshly and like rashly? Is that not a
Yes.
thing that you just now learned maybe you shouldn't do?
on one hand, we're good, right? On the other hand, I'm no punk bitch either.
Those were some words you just said.
That's in a language I don't understand.
Bleep, bleep. Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm over it. I'm good.
Do you need a hug?
That
Yes.
was a rascally shroom kid.
All right.
And we were already group hugging you when we asked that question.
Thanks. I have stuff going on at home. And I'm very sorry about that.
So here we are. The next room.
Ooh.
205. Okay. An unfinished wooden statue of the Mole King stands in the middle of the room. On the front of the statue is a rusty iron plaque with a faded inscription. On its wooden crown is a rough-cut ruby as big as your fist. A mallet and a chisel lie on the ground, as well as a crumpled sketch. Choose an action. You can read the plaque, look at the sketch, steal the ruby, or run for a door.
This guy looks familiar, but I just can't place it.
I think you're wearing him right now.
I mean, I'm not because I gave him to you to carry the things with, but I'll read the plaque.
Okay. You read the plaque. The plaque says, King Molvar Wormslayer, Emperor of the Underwood, ruler of the Dirtlands, a gift from your dearest friend, Mr. Rust. You all get 10 points of experience.
Mr.
Oh.
Rust, like MR? Mr. Rust?
Mr. Rust.
Remember on the crate? MR?
Maybe MR is Mr. Rust.
I always
Yeah.
thought MR stood for murderer. Is that not how it works?
Mr. Rust.
Mr. Rust.
It's all connected.
You can, and with many of these things, especially these exploration squares, you can choose another action.
Yeah. What were the actions again?
You can read the plaque, you can look at the sketch, you can steal the ruby, or you can run for a door.
I'm gonna fly up there and grab that ruby.
No, that's. I think that's a bad plan.
What?
What I'd like to do real quick is sense traps. I've got a spell for sensing traps, and I'd like to do that.
Can you tell me what the roll on the spell is?
Luck roll 4 or greater.
Yeah.
So
You got that.
there's honestly no way I can fail since I have 2 +1s.
Then roll away.
So that's a 7.
Okay. So you sense that there is something going on with that ruby. It feels like when you're looking at that, it looks like it's kind of like shimmering and shaking, and as if it has a kind of a sense of when you cast that, it almost has a sense of like a kind of like it's humming a little bit.
That ruby seems very trapped. It seems
Yeah, I'm trying to get it out of here.
unlike the drawing, or like the drawing, I should say. It seems sketchy. I would advise we leave that alone.
I
I just
Ramekin?
used a spell called Sense Traps and sensed something from it. So
right. So it's trapped. I'm trying to get it out.
no, it is a trap.
You think that's how it works?
Fremican, I can't say that I'm with you on this one, pal.
Yeah. All right.
I would like to look at that sketch, though.
Okay. You look at the sketch. The sketch is a crude charcoal drawing of a hunched over mole with a sour look on its face. And in one corner, a note is scrawled in red ink. Make it more majestic.
Make it work.
I think Molvar might have some self-confidence issues,
Yeah.
some insecurities.
Yeah. You know what makes things more majestic?
Don't say
a
don't
ruby.
say it.
I was making an observation. I say as we start walking to the next room, I think.
Yeah.
Before you do, you can take a look around.
Look around.
Take a look around and see if and you can draw a treasure card. Why don't you tell me the movie
Lost
you're looking
Lost Cave Newt. Oh, it's another lost creature. It's a chance for redemption. This little newt is looking for family. The player who carries it gets +1 on all smart rolls. I think this one just wants to be I think where it's found family.
It smiles up at you. It was hidden behind a little bit of moss. It is so happy to be found by friendly faces. And it quickly darts into one of your cloaks and pokes out its little head.
Aw,
It's adorable.
I think it's precious.
Just out of curiosity, because I know they exist, and I'm not above a little bit of min-maxing. What are the breaks for when you get a +1, -1, 0 flat, any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it doesn't combine. Like you can't. We don't have. It doesn't be +1 ++1 ++1. If you had all of the items,
it's just a plus. It's a plus. It's not. They're not. Like they're not. This isn't a +1 to your stat. This is a +1 bonus to your rolls.
it's a +1 to your roll.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Great. Cool.
Okay. Want to choose another? So which direction do you go through?
Let's go west this time.
Go west.
There we go, everybody.
UTO4.
Cool.
It's funny, you guys ran into all of the battle squares in the first, and now you're going through all the clue ones. You enter a circular cave lit by a fire in a stone pit. A long mural covers the wall. The first part of the mural shows a beautiful forest teeming with life. The second part, I'm going to bring it a little close up here. There we go. The second part shows moles digging up through the ground, tearing down the trees, and capturing the animals. The third part shows tree monsters roaming a burning forest and strange beetle-like insects flying through the air. The final part shows a vast cavern with a fearsome-looking mole king surrounded by treasure. Behind the mole king stands a tall knight in rusted armor. Strange words underline each section of the mural. So here's the actions you can take. You can put out the fire, you can read the messages, you can tear down the mural, or you could run for a door.
I think I'm starting to piece together what this whole thing is that this is some sort of weird symbiotic and dyadic relationship between the Mole King and Mr. Rust. And these two are up to no good. We've seen, stakes that turned a log into a creature. We've seen some very abusive mole guards.
Yep.
And, I think it's up to us to put an end to this tomfoolery.
Agreed.
Do you think that tomfoolery is Mr. Rust?
That's his given name.
Yes. And Mr. Rust is his nom de guerre.
And if you rearrange the words in tomfoolery, it spells out Mr. Rust. I would like to read the writing.
So you read the crooked, hastily painted letters. It says, "The woods above have no moles. Our brave warriors will rise up. Upside and Underwood will all be ours. Molvar will be king of all." You all get 10 experience points and choose another action.
One of the actions was to tear those murals down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get to doing that.
I'm going to help him.
You tear down the murals. And carved into the cave wall is a hidden message written in the language of the Wanderkind, signed with the interlocking W of the Wanderkind. Only you and your party can read this. The message says, "A simple song beats the strongest iron."
Yeah.
Sweet.
I pull out the singing sap.
And it's there. I mean, the singing sap is like this bottle of this magical thing.
Oh.
It's in your hand. You can feel it. It's full of life.
I
don't think we need it right now.
Yeah, I think this is more like future advice for, yeah.
I don't see any strong iron here.
I see.
Can we toss these into the fire?
Toss the murals into the fire?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you toss the murals into the fire, and the fire, it briefly, it's a normal kind of orangish flame, and it briefly turns into kind of like, glowing blue, and sparks fly off of it. It flares up, and then it dies back down to like this, just kind of like a normal sort of fire again.
Fixel takes about 10 to 15 minutes to lecture the group on fire safety.
We've gone down a lot. I think it's time to go up.
Let's do it.
Huzzah!
Oh no! Put that back.
Oh no!
Back in your quiver.
I was like, why are these two over here? And I put them back on top of the pile. Now I know why they were over there.
Great. Okay. And the number, please.
UT 11.
3 brightly glowing will-o-wisps spin in dizzy circles around the stalactites and stalagmites in this cave. And as they fly by, you can hear a song like beautiful chimes coming from each of them. The song is so haunting. Before you know it, you each start following them around the room. Here and there on the floor, you can see glass jars with heavy wooden stoppers, but you're already starting to kind of like walk in circles yourself. So here's your actions. You can talk to the will-o-wisps. You can battle the will-o-wisps. You can try and catch a will-o-wisp in a jar, or you could run for a door.
Conga line.
I really like the idea of catching one.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Your quickest player must race after the will-o-wisps with one of the glass jars. Make a speed roll of 7 or greater.
All right. Wish me luck.
Is that you? You got it?
Yep.
Start revving up your legs.
Gotcha. So with my modifier, I got an 8.
Nice.
Okay, you catch one of the will-o-wisps in a jar. And suddenly you've got this bright, shining, singing star. It's in a jar in your hand. And the rest of the will-o-wisps, disappear up into the ceiling. And 30 experience points.
Whoa.
You get a sense as soon as that will-o-wisp goes into the jar and the other will-o-wisps are gone, that compulsion that you had to race around the room like a crazy chicken, it's gone. Like you were starting to follow them around the room. You were starting to be distracted or pulled along as if you're in a magical spell. And now that it's in a jar and the other two are gone, that feeling's gone. Okay, and also you can draw a treasure card. This game is pretty heavy on treasure.
I love it.
All right, we've got a luck snail. The luckiest of snails.
You find this beautiful gem-like snail. Its shell, it looks as if it's made of kind of like shimmering garnets or rubies. It's whispering in sort of a secret language that you don't quite understand, with a tiny smile on its face. And it crawls up on your shoulder. And now you've got a luck snail with you. +1 on all of your luck rolls.
Excellent.
Choose a new direction.
Do we want to keep moving north?
I mean, it's working out for us.
And by the way, I'm sorry. Did everyone put a 30 on their experience for catching the will-o-wisp?
Yeah, I did, yes.
Okay,
yes.
There we go.
Yeah, I think up is good. UT 21.
Okay. You hear the sound of sawing as you enter this cave. And then you see the enormous bird. It has the head of a gigantic owl with a sharp curved beak and huge kind of shiny yellow eyes. Instead of wings, the bird has 2 saw-edged arms that seem to look as if they're almost made of something like some type of metal. 2 saw-edged arms with spikes for thumbs. It's sawing a huge tree into flat, wheel-like slabs. Sawdust covers the dirt floor, and a mole guard rolls the fresh-cut wheels away. Choose an action. You can talk to the sawbird. You can battle the sawbird. You can battle the mole guard, or you can run for a door.
All right.
I don't like this sawbird.
I think the sawbird looks super cool, and I would love to talk to it.
Okay.
Okay. You talk to the sawbird. The sawbird looks up with its blinking, unknowing owl eyes. It seems like it's pretty much just a creature, and kind of an angry, mean creature at that. It looks at you, sees all the players, and lets out a loud screech. But, however, the mole guard, the sawbird just keeps on sawing its wood, but the mole guard notices you and charges. He lifts a long saw off the tunnel floor and starts swinging it wildly at the players.
This is not worksite safety.
You are now going into a battle against a mole guard.
Gonna call OSHA.
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So the mole guard is swinging its huge saws. It's like, and the saw is making its crazy like whoa, 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 saw noise, and it's like swinging it at you. And here we go. Everyone, get ready to roll. The mole guard rolls 6.
And I do that thing where I want to step out to shoot at it. So does that mean I roll still for this?
That means you don't roll against this, but
I want to use a spell.
Okay, so 2 people step back, and that leaves. I'm sorry, Fixel. You are now facing it, and what was your roll?
I got a 6.
All right, tie. And so it. I'm sorry, Trin and Fremikin. What would you like to do first? Trin, why don't you go?
Trent, I'm gonna notch an arrow and let it fly.
Okay, so the mole guard rolls 6. What do you roll?
I rolled a 7.
Your arrow, plants in the mole guard. It is down to it's. Oh, all right. Fremikin, what do you choose?
I'm casting decoy.
Decoy. Okay.
Yeah. So I pick a stick up off the ground. And I whisper to it, and then I throw it in the distance.
Okay, and what's the success roll on that?
Roll is 6 or greater.
Okay.
I got a 10.
All right. You throw the stick, and the stick goes bobbling and bouncing around the room. And the mole guard is chases after the stick. Every time that it gets close to it, the stick kind of bounces to a new place, and the mole guard keeps like running after that, and it's not stopping. The stick just keeps hopping and jumping, and the mole guard is chasing it down. Meanwhile, the sawbird just keeps sawing away at that wood, like going into like trunk after trunk and sawing it away. So the mole guard himself, he's now just like running circles around, chasing the stick around the room, and the bird is still sawing all the pieces.
All right. Do we think that this is a source of where they make the bark dogs from?
Yeah, and plus, then trees are our friends, and this thing is just kind of indiscriminately sawing. I think we should take care of it and maybe try to give the tree horns or the branch and leaves back to this tree to maybe so it can heal itself.
Okay.
Sure.
So
all
maybe
right,
we should yeet this.
So you guys
this
all
sawbird.
Square off against the sawbird. And this thing kind of, as it sees you starting to fix its attention on you, it lifts its head and its baleful glowing yellow eyes, and it stops sawing for a moment, reaches up its huge saw arms and screeches. And here we go.
That's got to be good.
Are you all going at it, or how do you like to ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna step out to notch an arrow again. So I'm gonna step out to do a ranged attack.
How about you, Fixel?
I'll attack it. I'm doing just the normal combat.
Okay. How about you, Fremikin?
I am going to attack also.
Okay. So monster rolls 8.
I did not do good.
I did. I got 11.
Okay, 15. How about you? And Aaron, you ready?
Yeah.
You were going to shoot an arrow? Ready?
Yep.
Monster gets 12. That arrow goes boink, and just goes flipping past it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next round. Monster rolls 6.
I got a 10.
I got a 6.
So Fixel tie, but Monster loses 1 from you, Fremican, and Aaron.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Trin.
I rolled a 2.
Okay, so another arrow, boing, disappears like stuck in the wall.
These dice are going to dice jail. I'm switching out my 6s.
All right. So now let's see. You see it pull its big arms apart, stretching them almost like way behind its back. And then like it's getting ready to do something strange. And everyone roll. Just everyone roll at once now. This one, Monster got 7.
11.
10.
And Fremican, what'd you get?
7.
Okay. So the monster, its arms, its big metallic arms clap together like a cymbal. And it's like a sound that almost shatters your eardrums, but somehow you manage to resist it. And actually, I think only one of you tied it to the monster. So you still attack. It made this huge, like sonic clap. Your bones shake, but you don't take any damage. But 2 of you got higher than the monster. So monster's now still doing pretty well, but you've done some damage to it. Everybody ready to roll?
Yep.
Yes.
Do it.
Anyone stepping back? Or
Yep.
yeah. Okay, Trin, you're still back. Anyone else back? Okay, so. Monster gets 10.
12.
Yeah, I take a hit of damage.
Okay. And now you're trying another arrow?
Yep.
Okay, let's. Monster got 6.
6.
Okay. I'm going to let's see, that's a tie, so it doesn't go, all right?
Okay.
Another round. Monster gets 7.
11. I am having Fremican versus the Bark Dog style luck rolls right now.
I take another hit. Damage.
Rest
No,
in
you've
peace,
stolen
Remican.
it.
Monster gets 2.
I mean, I think we're okay. I beat it.
And okay, and so this, and I'm assuming that Fixel, you got higher than a 2. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
And you shoot another arrow.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
9.
You also got to the monster. Is just like the monster's reeling, and now finally one arrow sort of struck home, and it gives a huge squawk. And you can tell, like, this monster is the sawbird is not doing pretty well, and the ferocious, angry look in its eyes is like starting to blink a little bit. It still has these like massive, kind of clanging arms and like spikes, and it's still like full of danger. But you've done some significant damage. Are we ready? Here we go. Monster gets 5.
Yay, 6.
4.
Yeah, that's more like it.
So, and actually, this time, once again, the monster slapped its arms together to make that kind of clanging sound. Fixel, you lose 1, and you lose 1 BP, but you also are kind of knocked out for a second. So you're actually going to miss the next round.
Okay.
And Tran, you're still shooting arrows. Monster rolled a 4. What'd you roll?
8.
8. Boom. Another arrow is planted in like straight in the trunk of the sawbird. It's looking pretty hurt. So you guys have like it's starting to stagger a little bit, and its moves are getting a little bit more erratic. But this time, Fixel, you're going to be out, and Fremican and Tren, this is you. So Tren, you're going to shoot another arrow.
Yep.
Monster gets 6.
I got
7.
6 also.
7.
Okay, so the monster is now the arrow hits, and Fremican, you tie. Now this round, Fixel, you can jump back in.
That's
Monster
more
gets-
like it.
Monster gets 7.
12.
10.
So the monster now just croaks. It lets out a massive squawk. It falls onto his back, and suddenly there's this strange poof, as like in a puff of magic and smoke, and that body of this massive saw bird fades away and fades out of the adventure. So you did it. All right. You all get experience of 20, and you can search the room.
Okay. Yeah, let's search the room.
Oh, and by the way, the mole guard is still chasing a stick around the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He is like he can't break the enchantment. He's like he's breaking the
I
enchantment.
cast that one good.
Yeah.
We get a Frost Moss.
Happy Frostmoss, everyone. Happy Frostmoss.
Happy Frost Moss.
To all those who observe.
All those
clap
who observe Frostmoss.
Clap the Frost Moss in your hands and drop it into any body of water to freeze it solid.
Could be useful. All right.
Unlike I think most of the other things we've gotten have been relatively unlimited uses, except for a couple of them. This one is just one use. No, the Ghost Room's one use also.
Yep.
All right. We can go up one more time if we want, or we can go over.
Well, let's take care of this tree first, because wasn't this tree? I could be making this up, but wasn't the tree like sad or upset that it was getting sawed? Am I making that up?
It's just at this point, it's just logs. Like you can. It looks like they were. It's pretty much seems like a normal, not an active moving tree, but just a basic kind of like sleeping tree that was being chopped into pieces. So you definitely did a great thing by stopping the sawbird from continuing to defile these like pieces of tree. But this pretty much just straightforward trunks.
Trin is just a bit of an empath and can sense the lingering sorrow in the space from the. Yeah.
And it certainly says, and you hear like this tiny whisper of like, "Thank you for stopping them from sawing me." Like there's a feeling that it is happy not to be being actively sawed to pieces.
Would this branch and leaves make you feel any better at all too, or would that just really be kind of superfluous?
You get this sense from that trunk that like that's not my branch.
I love that you're just like a dog with a bone with that.
Yep.
So
anyone?
All right,
I want to be useful.
Here we go.
Okay, there we go.
Bam. UT 27.
All right, 1 second. In the middle of this room, there's a murky green pond. On a stump in the middle of the pond is a clear glass bell, holding a fluttering scroll made of a single large leaf. Lines and dots in dark green mark the front and the back of the leaf, and it is floating and fluttering as if it's alive. But watch out, there is something swimming in lazy circles around the stump. Something with two bulbous eyes and a rusty, dripping crown. And you can hear it grumbling as it swims. I don't get paid enough for this. I'm a prince. A prince! So you can choose an action, jump to the stump, and grab the leaf notes from beneath the glass bell, catch the creature in the pond, throw some coins in the pond, or run for a door. And by the way, you can also, with any action, if you want, there is the option to take a free action, which is what I mean by that is you can break outside of these options if you so feel. But here's, once again, jump to the stump and grab the leaf notes. They are the leaf notes. You recognize them from the earlier sketch. Catch the creature in the pond, throw some coins in the pond, or run for a door.
I got an idea.
I think we have the same thought.
Let's say it at the same time.
All right.
Drop the
frost
moss in the and I was gonna fly over and get the leaf note.
I mean, that works.
So you grab the frost moss between your fingers, you crush it and rub it together, and immediately it starts feeling so cold that you realize you need to drop it before it gives you frostbite. And you do. You drop it into the body of the water, and the water freezes solid. Suddenly, you see frost kind of creep up and temporarily encase that massive sort of toad-like froggy head with those bulbous eyes and the rusty crown. Ice creeps up around it, and it is frozen, and it gets that one sort of sound like, "Blah!" And then it is frozen and solid.
Classic
Hell yeah.
frozen
So-
frog sound.
Yeah.
What do you do?
right. Get
I
the notes.
was going to fly over there and get the note.
You fly over across the ice, and you can see beneath that frozen kind of ice encased frog. You can see its eyes still kind of follow you as if it only wishes it could make a break out. But its eyes, but you make it over to the top of the stump, push back the glass bell carefully, and suddenly you lift the sound. Once you lift that piece of glass, the sound of 1,000 bells peals through the air. The leaf notes float up like a butterfly, a soft green light glowing from their markings. Time freezes, and the pond water becomes even more sort of solid, as if all time has stopped. The toad prince is still sitting there. It's not even moving now. It's like it's been frozen in time, and its eyes are just like totally frozen, like mid looking. You're able to bring the leaf notes back to the rest of the party. They're floating gently on your shoulder. Each of you gains 4 battle points, and your magic points are restored to the max.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
And at the same time, to the east, another portal square opens up. So Frimican, if you could find one of the second portal squares, and now another portal square has opened up directly to the east.
I'll remember to move our characters again now.
Eventually.
Every 4 or 5 rooms, I remember to move our characters.
So you can see the ice. Somehow the ice dissipates. It fades away, but the water is still It's still like as if it's frozen like a glass block. Like the ice is worn off, but the frog prince is still frozen as if it's just frozen in time, not moving, totally paralyzed, not dead, but not moving, and basically kind of trapped in a moment in time. Everything else around the room is suddenly, you can see all the moss, all the greenery. Once again, everything begins to look like it's beginning to grow and change a little bit.
And this
I'd
is this is a frog, not a toad, just to clarify.
It is the big cousin. It's somewhere frog, toad, schlemeasel, schmozzle.
I just whisper, your family told us where you were. on the way."
You almost see its eyes beginning to kind of twitch a little bit, but it is completely frozen.
I walk over and I give him a kiss on the cheek. Mwah.
You have 2 out of 3 of the major magic items. You have the leaf notes, you have the singing sap, and another portal has opened up. Do you want to go check out the portal?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you walk into the second portal, and it's very much like the first. There's a shimmering kind of rays of light coming out of a stone circle in the middle of the room. Swirls of glowing light around them. And what would you like to do? Do you want to step into the portal? Do you want to leave through another door?
Oh man. Ooh.
I want to go in a door.
All right.
Yeah.
Which door?
I kind of want to go south again.
Let's go south. Whatcha? Whatcha?
Can I get a number?
15.
Okay. You enter a storeroom. There's huge barrels and wooden boxes fill the room. An empty bedroll with flickering lanterns is set up in one corner. And in another corner, a single mole guard sleeps, standing up, propped up on his spear and snoring loudly.
Thank goodness, I'm so tired.
Do not do that.
Ever since we heard that song.
Here's what you can do. Search the barrels, search the boxes, battle the mole guard, or run for a door.
Lay down in the mole guard's bed, because looks
What a
super
flex
comfy.
that would be.
Take ourselves a little nap. A little nippy nap.
Yeah. Let's explore the
Okay.
explore the boxes.
So if you want to search the boxes, who is your luckiest player?
I believe that's going to be me.
Okay.
What's your luck?
10?
Mine is 11.
Oh. Well,
'Cause
never
he's a
mind.
fairy. Yeah. So what's your modifier for luck?
+1.
Okay. So you need to make a luck roll of 8 or greater. And so you've got your +1, and then I think you've got some creatures with you. That might
We got a snail.
You got a luck
Happy-
snail. That
happy
might
to
do
help out.
something. So let's do +2. You need to roll. You need to roll an 8.
Oh, buddy. No, yeah, I got a 7.
You got it. Okay. Suddenly you try to go over the boxes. You're about to kind of like pry one open, and the wood on it makes it sound like
Yeah. That's the good stuff.
and you can almost see what's in it, but the mole guard suddenly wakes up. It says, it screams in a high-pitched voice, "This is the worst dream ever!" And then it runs through a random door and out of the room. Boop.
What in the world is
They're
wrong
not
with
brave.
these? Yeah.
They're not that brave.
At this point,
Well, those who express cowardice get to ride
Ride
a
a mole.
mole.
Get to
Mole
ride
bear.
a mole bear.
So
Yeah.
you are looking in the you can go back and it's gone. You can look for in the crate that you just opened up. And the crates are all filled with rusting iron spikes, all of them coated with a kind of a same sort of dirty oil. And do you want to pick one up?
Do I know?
So it seems like it's the same spikes. You recognize them. They're the same spikes that were from the wood shop that have been used to turn that one creature into a raging bark dog. So suddenly you're looking at a room and you realize there are stacks and stacks of boxes filled with these rusty kind of oil dripping spikes with that kind of magical sheen to them.
You know what I got? I got a fire starter kit here. I just want to set these boxes on fire. Can I use the bedding just to burn these things? I mean, I don't know this is going to do anything, but I certainly want to try.
You can try. So you set them on fire, and the wood of the box is burning, but you realize there's oil on the spikes, but they're also sitting in kind of like water a little bit. So like it's kind of burning, kind of sputtering, and kind of not. And quickly, it's filling the whole room with lots and lots of smoke, like oily, kind of bitter smoke. Like they're not really. It's not a full conflagration, but it is smoking a lot, and it's getting a little tough to breathe in there.
Hey, Frimikin, do you remember, I don't know, like 4 squares ago when I spent 10 to 15 minutes talking about fire safety?
I remember there was a fire, and there was a set of rings around it. We threw some stuff in it.
Do we want to leave through this east door before we suffocate?
Sure.
Cool.
Good call. Good call.
Oh, we've got UT22.
Okay. So now you walk into a room, and a little bit of the smoke follows you as you go through, but you're in a room that is just like filled with rusty, kind of like big piles of leaves. So leaves sort of like, and there's like kind of a quiet wind that seems to be blowing through the room, like as if maybe there's some type of air that's floating through the tunnels. But it basically looks like this seems to be the place where all the leaves from all the trees have been stacked and put into piles.
I feel like when we come out of that smoke, though, we look really cool doing it.
Yeah, you do. It's like you're walking away from an explosion.
Yeah.
So also in this room, there's kind of dusty cobwebs that line the walls and they drift along the doorways. It's in a couple places. It looks as if cobwebs might hide a niche, or there might be some openings in the walls. So here, what do we like to do? The actions are: you can rest and recuperate. You can search the leaf piles. You can search the cobwebs, or you could run for a door.
Yahoo! I'm gonna jump in that middle leaf pile. There's obviously nothing scary or disastrous in it.
So you flutter your wings at their highest speed, and you drop like a hawk into the leaf pile. And so out of it comes a massive spider, a spider bigger than your worst nightmare. It's a spider the size of a pony. It's camouflaged with dead leaves, and it springs out of the pile, and immediately you have now sort of straight into a battle. So you're looking at a massive spider, size of a pony, covered with leaves, camouflaged with leaves, and you're in the and now you're in a battle.
As I hit it, can I giggle intensely, which causes my fairy charm to activate.
And since it's just you get a sense that this is something that cannot be charmed.
It can't be charmed.
Seems to be an insect without much intellect, almost as if something happened to it and turned it into this. Like, you get a sense it looks like it hasn't always been a huge spider. Like something happened to it and now it's a big spider. But you're looking into kind of a mindless predator is what it feels like.
Yo, let's take it kind of easy on this thing.
And by the way, and you were looking straight into its eyes. Well, it's not taking it easy on you because it's about to sink.
I as a character or as a player don't expect it to take it easy on us. I'm just as a character, as a player saying, as a character saying it.
So I am going to use my I have a magic item, the Plains Hood, that lets me cast camouflage. I'm going to cast it right now to hide the entire party.
So suddenly, and I think is there? Let me just do a quick check. Do you have a roll on that?
No, it just it costs no roll. It just costs 4 magic points to hide us in plain sight.
So you grab Fremikin. You're super fast. You grab Fremikin by his cape and yank him away from that spider. Whip up your own cloak, and suddenly you're camouflaged. And the spider is sitting there, its eyes glinting, kind of searching the room, spinning, but it can't see you. So what action would you like to take?
I think we all should bounce. Now that it can't see us, we should split.
But
it darts forward at the very sound of your whisper, but it still doesn't know that you're there. It takes a move in your direction, but it doesn't move. So what would you like to do?
I grabbed the two. Yes, go ahead, Daniel.
I was saying, let's go north.
Yeah.
So,
and we take off north.
Yeah, you slowly creep around all the leaves and around all the piles, and I'd like you to actually just who has the least luck here?
My standard score is a 6, but I do have 2 +1s at this point.
Okay.
And mine's a 10, and Tony's is an 11. So I believe.
Okay, you're incredibly lucky.
So it's still luckiest party
roll,
in the world.
Roll a 7 or higher.
Okay. That is a 14.
Okay. So you all manage to make it to the door. It keeps spinning. It's in its pile looking for you all. It can still get a sense that someone's in there, can feel these motions, but you managed not to step on any leaf piles as you made it to the next door.
Hey, can I reason with y'all for a second? That thing was going to mess our whole worlds up, I think.
Yeah, I did not like it, and I'm glad that we escaped. Thank you. I can also cast camouflage. I didn't know you could do that. That's cool that we both have that thing.
Nice.
I was thinking of doing the same thing, so.
Great minds.
Great minds.
What? Y'all are so crazy.
We're so crazy, we just might.
Work.
Ride a mole bear.
Wait, we gotta switch it over. UT19.
UT19.
This looks way better.
You have stumbled on a mole guard camp. 3 heavily armored mole guards are busy filling water bottles in an underground spring. And when they see you, they shout out, "Uplanders, get them!" They brandish their jagged spears and charge to battle. Here's your actions. Talk to the mole guards, battle the mole guards, offer the mole guards a gift, or run for a door.
Ooh.
Do you want to give him the glow moth?
The glow moth? No. Glowy?
You named
Globert?
it Glowy. Globert is Better, I
Glowy
guess.
is-
It's a stem.
Glowy is short for Glowbert. Why? I mean, it's common knowledge.
I would like to give these mole guards a gift.
So they are charging it, and you go, wait. And the mole guards stop, almost as if you control them. What do you want to give them?
I have here this amazing magical map that has written on it directions to a fantastical treasure. And if you spare us, I will give it to you. It is just a blank map that I have, but as a trickster, I'm feeling like I can hopefully convince them otherwise.
They look at the map and they go like, this map has nothing on it. Ooh, and
It is a secret map.
Yeah.
You have to hold it up to the right light from the glowing mushroom. And that's why we're here. We're trying to find that glowing mushroom, but you can take it instead.
roll 10 or higher.
All right. That's a 7.
Like, lies. They charge at you, and the battle has begun.
Worth a try.
For the try is good. Okay, so the mole guards. These look like just humanoid moles. They're about 4 feet tall. They have oversized hands, beady eyes, short snouts, and grayish fur. And they're wearing heavy armor and waving jagged spears. And the battle is begun. So you're going to fight them all as if they were kind of one monster.
Got it.
All right, so we're into battle. Do you want everyone going face to face, or is anyone?
I'm going to cast a
back?
spell.
All right, I'll face to face.
Okay, so we've got Trin and Fixel kind of going head to head, and Frimikin, you're standing back. All right. So mole guards, roll 4.
8.
10.
10. Okay, and then Frimikin, you were going to cast a spell.
I'm going to cast Magic Web.
Great, and what's the success roll on that?
It's roll versus monster. So what did they roll?
Okay, the monster rolls. It's individual roll against you.
Gotcha.
Monsters roll 4.
Excellent. I rolled 9.
Okay, all 3 monsters
Nice.
immediately, like a magic web spans. They are charging at you. A magic web spans from the floor to the ceiling, and all 3 of them run straight into it. It popped up right as they were close by, and now they're just like struggling and against the magic web. It won't last there. It won't last forever.
Yeah, this lasts a round. And
Yeah, so they are caught for this round. So you can take another attack while they're in the magic web.
Yes,
Do it.
let's.
Okay. So they automatically lose from now. You cast the magic web. You are not in range, but Fixel and Trin are there, and so they're able to. Now you're both able to use your wander swords, and you are able to have a successfully attack. The web then kind of disappears, and now they're back into battle again. The mole guards get 6.
5.
8.
The mole guards 7. Fixel, you lose 1, and then Frimikin, what were you going to do? You're back from them, so you can't attack.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to think. Do I?
Or you could also attack with a slingshot. You guys have a
Is that
slingshot.
not just tricksters or scouts?
Oh,
That's a class specific weapon.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. The designer of this game is obviously planning for just this moment.
I'm sorry. You can't use that.
No, that's fine. I do feel like casting web works really well, so I'm gonna do that again.
Okay. So mole guards roll 8.
I rolled an 8 plus 2, so I got a 10.
You got it. They are frozen again. So now back to Fixel and Trin. You take another attack. They're down again. They are hurting. The web disappears. So that's kind of like the attack. A web pops up. They get caught in the web. web fades, and then like suddenly another web gets it. But now they're back, and they're all the mole guards roll 5.
8.
7.
Okay, and sorry, Fremican, what do you want to cast another spell?
I'm gonna cast Magic Web.
Okay, mole guards roll 5.
I rolled a 7.
So they've caught in the web again. Another attack from Fixel and Trin, and the mole guards are like, "Arg, we are slain." They fall to the ground, and their
Death becomes us.
It literally does. Their bodies like disappear in a puff of smoke and sparks, and they're gone, leaving nothing but some ashes. And so now I think you're and sorry, can you give me the square number one more time? It's
19.
Are we on 19? So now you could explore the room.
We do so, and we find.
Fire moss.
Fire moss. Roll the. I like finding in one of their bedrolls, and I don't tell my good buddy Fixel about the fire moss, which lets you roll the fire moss together in your hands and drop it to create a small fire.
Okay.
I'll just put that in my pocket. Did we get any experience for defeating the guards?
Sorry, you do get experience for defeating the mole guards. Everyone gets 20.
20.
And you also get just the 20.
Awesome. We can go east, or we can go back south again.
No, let's go east.
Let's go east.
Does anyone want to go visit the spider again? We've got UT16.
Okay, this room is filled with 5 roughly cut stumps. Each stump has a rusty iron spike pounded into it.
Oh no.
In the middle of the room, you see a small glowing fairy, trapped in a jar, sitting on top of a flat rock. When the fairy sees you, he beats against the side of the jar, and suddenly all of the stumps come to life. They open jagged wooden jaws, and glowing eyes open up in the knotholes, and they begin shuffling on their roots in fast-moving circles around the fairy's jar. They're just circling. Your actions. You can talk to the fairy. You can battle the stump chompers. You can dodge the stump chompers and open the jar, or you could run for a door.
I'm going to cast Swift Foot so that I can rush over super quickly to get to the fairy before these things get to us.
And Swiftfoot, was that is there? Can you take a quick look at the spell and see what the roll is? Or if that's a boost?
So just a speed rolls are +2 for the duration of the spell.
Amazing. Okay, so you need to get a speed roll of 8 or higher.
Okay. All right.
I believe in you.
That is an 11.
So you are just you leap into action, and they're this circle of running stumps. You jump from stump to stump to stump, and they're snapping and growling and trying to catch you, but you're too quick. And then you land on the big stump in the middle, and you uncork the jar. So once you open the jar, the fairy bursts out. He flies into the air, and he sings out a strange word. The stump chompas all freeze in place, their roots digging back into the ground, and their glowing eyes close. The fairy calls out, "I'm free!" and flies straight up through the ceiling in a burst of greenish light. A scattering of 40 gems falls to the ground as he disappears.
Nice.
Making it rain.
That was nice.
That was sick.
And that is all the you explore. That's all the treasure in this room. But you've done a pretty magical thing, because now there's all these stumps that have rerouted themselves. You see the iron spikes that they had driven into the middle of their trunk pushed out, and they fall onto the ground. And suddenly it looks like if not healthy growing stumps, at least it seems like they have returned partially to being trees again.
I automatically take the branch and leaves and say, branches and leaves, branches and leaves, branches and leaves.
It seems that
leaves, branches and leaves.
It seems that they've fallen asleep too quickly. Yeah, right.
All right. We could go south or east.
I say we go east one more.
We could also look around this room first.
You look around the room, and there's like there doesn't seem to be any treasure. It was pretty much more like a racetrack of dirt with these stump chompers racing around it. There's not much else in.
No treasure cards. All right, cool.
No, you got the gems though. You got to go pick
I know
up all
that's
the
fine.
gems.
I get it.
You're welcome, everybody, by the way.
That was very impressive.
Yeah.
Also, Racetrack of Dirt is my favorite Black Sabbath album.
Yeah.
UT07. This may be my favorite one so far, actually.
So 1 second, let me just find that and hold it up to the camera. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Did we go south or did we go east on that one?
Do we get either way? It's fine.
Yeah.
Skirt. Scooching all the stuff around.
I'm just sorry. I'm finding it. I know I got him here somewhere. I did. Okay, here we go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love this guy already.
I know, right? I don't remember giving permission to use my likeness, but I'm okay with it.
So, a wrinkled old gnome sits in front of a tent on a small wooden stool. On his head, he wears a broken clay jug with a candle in its neck. An assortment of old bottles is spread out on a tattered blanket in front of him. When he sees you, he calls out, "Uplanders, if my eyes tell the truth, come closer. I'm Paxos, the potion peddler, and I've got all the potions you need. Come pick an elixir. It will do you good." And your choices: you can buy a potion, you can battle the potion picker, you can steal one of his bottles, or you can run for a door.
Do these bottles have potions in them, or are they just empty bottles that we're stealing?
You can tell that all these bottles have some type of liquid
All right,
in them.
all right.
That it definitely looks like these are real potions.
Hey guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. You know what I think we should do?
Everybody say it together on three.
Maybe say it together on
1,
3.
2, 3.
Buy some
Buy
potions.
potions.
Potion, yeah.
Buy some
Okay.
potions because we got a lot of gems.
We got gems on gems.
Yeah.
So
we
the
got
potion picker
uncut
says,
gems.
he says, "Yes!" The potion picker says, "I have the perfect potion for you. Would you like a battle boost for 30 gems, a magic boost for 30 gems, or try a mystery potion for a low price of 20 gems? All my potions have gotten a little mixed up since the big disruption. I
Hey.
don't know what happened, but yeah, they're still good. They're all good."
Here's a question. What if we bought one of everything? Can you cut us a deal?
I will sell you a battle boost and a magic boost for 50 gems total, and a mystery potion, still low price of 20 gems.
I mean, that's still a deal. I'm not.
I think that's a great deal.
We'll take 'em.
Yes.
Okay, so add one battle boost, which is a red bottle. It's like this red bottle. It has a heart on it. It will boost your battle points plus 20, but you've got one bottle, so you can split it. Between the three of you, you have a battle boost potion with 20 points. You have a magic boost potion, which once again, it's just 20 points. You can split it. You can all, one person drink all of it, or split those 20 points across. And then mystery potion, roll. Who's dealing with the potion picker?
I mean, I think we can roll it right now if it's most convenient, but I think it's way better to drink it first and find out later.
Well, yeah, but first you need to who is the
I was
person
doing it.
dealing with it.
I
Okay,
was, yeah.
okay. Roll 6-sided dice and tell
Just
me
one?
what you're. Yeah.
6.
Okay. What the potion that he hands over to you? It's a small gray bottle. It has a mouse's face drawn on it. You don't know what it is, but he's like, "I don't know what it is, but here it's. To be honest, my memory's a little foggy, but here it is. Very good deal. And it
Guys,
gives you this small gray bottle with a mouse's face drawn on it.
guys, I'm going to go ahead and say it. We can buy 2 more mystery potions.
Probably should conserve some of these gems.
Okay.
As
Yeah.
much as I love the idea of mystery potions, and let me tell you, I really do.
Yeah,
Want
let's
to buy
yeah,
one more? Okay.
No, let's save those last 40 gems. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's a pleasure doing business with you. Come back anytime if you would like some more potions.
And what was your name again? Apoxis?
I am Paxos, the potion peddler. I've got all the potions you need.
Paxos, do you have any good stories?
Oh, I've got many good stories, but many of them are fading from my memory ever since the disruption, ever since these tunnels. Something happened. It used to be you could travel them freely from one end to another, but now they're all mixed up. I can barely find my way. That's why I'm staying here, right here. I'm not moving around. There's too many dangerous creatures in these tunnels.
You know, I really admire your candor, Paxos. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, you're welcome, and let me know if you ever find your way out. Please come back to Paxos. I would love to see the uplands again.
You know what? We will do that, and we will not even ask if there's anything you can do for us. We will do it just out of the benevolence of our own heart.
Oh, that's kind. You're very kind.
It's growth.
Yes.
He wasn't always, let me tell you.
I'm making amends.
Where are we going?
South?
So let's do it. Ooh.
UT 12.
When you walk through this door, you're greeted by this cacophony of roaring voices, and you see the strangest sight. There's 7 massive earthworms, and when I say massive, I mean they are gargantuan. They're incredibly huge. They're tangled in this knot, thrashing fiercely, throwing huge clods of dirt around the room. And you can talk to the earthworms, you can untangle the earthworms, you can battle the earthworms, or you can run for a door.
I think we should try to untangle these earthworms.
Well, I mean, I agree.
Yeah, and maybe if we untangle them, we'll get some earthworm gems from them.
Do we? Man, that was.
I have to go. I can't.
As a character, I don't understand that reference. As a player, that was excellent.
Why are you booing me? You know I'm right.
All of a sudden, all the earthworms boo in unison. I mean, what if they like being tangled up?
We can talk to them first, I guess.
Sure, it's always worth a try. Now, you want to talk to the earthworms?
Yeah.
After I'm done patting myself on the back for the earthworm gem joke.
It was very good.
I mean, when you first come in, like you can, they're actually talking. They're like, let go. What? You're squeezing me. Ow, it's too tight. They're complaining a lot. But you say, let's talk to the earthworms. They all start yelling at once. Untangle me. No, untangle me. No, untangle me first. They're just like yelling, and it's a cacophony. So just choose another action. Do you want to battle them, or do you want to try and untangle them?
Yes,
I say let's untangle them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's going to take a strength roll. Your strongest player. It's going to take a strength roll of 9 or greater.
All right. Here goes nothing. There's going to be a 6.
So they throw you against the wall, and like you get -2 battle points. They're like, who are you? Come on, untangle us. Why aren't you untangling us? That was a terrible try. Haven't you ever untied a knot in your life? Untangle us.
Ow.
You can have one more try. Actually,
Yeah, it's a little easier to untangle things if you just use one of these, and I pull out my pocket knife menacingly.
suddenly that gets their attention, and suddenly you have 9 massive earthworms, colossal earthworms, like incredibly large, staring at you, and they don't look happy.
I'm
So
so sorry
what
for
would you
my
like-
friend.
What would you
please
like to
ignore
do?
him. I'm so sorry. We've seen a lot today.
Then I pull the tweezers out of the end of this Swiss and I hand him over to you.
I just want to help you with your entanglement here.
I'm like, well then, hey, untangle us.
All right. That time I rolled a 4.
Like once again, you're just flung to the wall. Like another -2 BP. They're like, why are you so bad at untangling knots? Do one more try.
JP in the chat suggests we give them the mystery potion. I don't know. JP, I think it's a great idea, but I don't know how much of an effect it'll have.
JP, I like the cut of your jib. All right, I'll try one more time to untangle them before we go to drastic measures. That's another 4.
Okay. You then once again flung to the wall. The worms just like smack. You're back against the wall. They're just thrashing like crazy. You lose another 2 BP.
I have lost 25% of my BP trying to untangle some damn worms.
I will say, I mean, JP's logic does have some wisdom to it. Like, if this is a Rat King potion or a potion of unrat kinging, it might work on worms also.
Those are very common potions in fantasy games. The potions of unrat kinging.
You want to give it a try?
Never go down in the sewer without.
So
You know what they say.
Who is the luckiest player?
I am.
That'll be me. I think. Yep.
No.
So, no.
The luckiest.
I'm the
Well,
luckiest.
you've been thrashed. You should let someone else take some lumps.
I'm the luckiest player.
Okay. Do you want to offer the potion to them? They say, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" As
I just.
as you're hovering closer with this potion.
I do.
This tiny bottle, gray bottle.
I got a 9.
Okay, so you managed to like get close enough. They've stopped thrashing enough to what is that?
It's a potion of untangling. Somebody once told me it was a potion of untangling.
Okay, I'll try it. And one of them, they're like, I'll try it. But like one of them gets close enough to try it, and it's like you're reaching into the mouth of an alligator. It doesn't have teeth, but still pretty scary. So you've got your little bottle of potion. You're reaching into like the mouth of one of these huge worms, and you pour it on it.
Yeah.
And immediately, that massive worm shrinks down and becomes a gray mouse. All of the other earthworms, with that one earthworm now turned into like the size of a mouse, and it skitters away quickly before it gets crushed by all its fellow earthworms. All the other earthworms are able to untangle themselves.
It was a load-bearing earthworm.
Untie and untangle, and they all start slithering down into the ground. But before they do that, they said, "You saved us! You saved us! But beware the mouse with the barbed tail." Then just like that, the earthworms burrow into the ground, disappearing, leaving piles of dirt, throwing piles of dirt in the air. You see the one earthworm that is now a mouse go hopping into the hole after them. And there's a sack of 50 gems left behind.
Oh, look, it's some earthworm gems.
Do you want to explore the room?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So you can draw a treasure card.
Heart of the cards. Ugh.
Rope and grapnel. All right. That would have come in handy earlier when you were like fishing around in ponds.
Yeah. Used to swing across the gaps, climb to a high spot, or roll 7 or higher to hook an object and grab it towards you. Drag it towards you. All right. Southwest. Egg rolls.
Let's south it up.
Yeah.
Matt, absolutely.
Yeah.
Matt, also, I mean, if you want, so we're messaging about time. We can pull out the third one and actually conclude the adventure if you want.
If you all want, or we could keep it as a secret for the audience if they want to, because there is a big reveal.
There is a big reveal. We don't want any spoilers.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all want one more? We'll see what the heart of the cards brings us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UT 20.
This entire cavern is covered in soft, thick moss in 100 shades of green. It is the most calm, beautiful place you've ever seen. moss-covered mounds of all different sides spread over the floor. And in one corner, there's a pile of rough stones that are stacked against the northwest wall. So here's what we're looking at. Here's the actions. You can rest and recuperate. You could search the moss mounds. You could investigate those stones. Or you could choose another door.
Before we take any actions, I'd like to pull Green Tongue, my magic sword, out because it glows green when hidden monsters are near. So I'd like to see if it's glowing in case there are any hidden monsters.
Are you
in this
suggesting that
mounds.
one of these mounds of something might be a hidden monster?
I'm thinking it might be the case. I don't know. It's just a possibility.
I mean, obviously, there's only these clean bones and these delightful mounds nearby.
Clearly nothing dangerous, but I just figured better safe than sorry.
Okay. So you pull your sword out, and your sword starts glowing as bright as it could ever glow. It is like a flaming green sword that is shimmering and sparking with yes. Short answer: there's something in here.
Yeah.
Might I suggest that we do one more room because I did look at what the next card was. And I think it'll be a good place to stop after that. And we can leave this room and go south. Does that work for everybody?
Works for me.
Yeah.
All right. We have UT 29.
On a pedestal in the middle of this room is a beautiful harp made out of living branches. You've discovered the branch harp. Its strings hum with a song that reminds you of a beautiful spring day. And surrounding the pedestal is a ring of stalagmites, slowly raising up and down. In four corners of the room are 4 stone basins. Each one of them is inscribed with a symbol: a sun, a seed, a pile of dirt, and waves of water. So, in the middle is, you are looking at the branch harp, the final major magic item. And your choices are, you can try and grab the branch harp, you could fill the stone basins with objects, or you could try another door.
And what are the stone basins again? Tell me one more time.
One is a sun, one is a symbol of a seed, one is a pile of dirt, and one is waves of water. So it's looking at
So I can definitely put the treehorn seed into the seed one.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
What about the will-o-wisp in the sun one?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
And then I've got this, and I take off my shoe, and it's just got water in it from when we were mucking around earlier.
Okay.
Just pour it into the water one.
Yeah.
So you pour some water in the water one. You put the jar with the will-o-wisp on the sun one. You put a seed on the seed one. And now there's one basin that isn't filled.
Is the one where you can put in the branch and leaves?
There does not appear to be.
What's the one with dirt? Dirt is,
Abundant.
Yeah. It's like, dirt is, adjacent to the branch and leaves family.
Are there any places in your travels where you might have seen big piles of dirt?
I was going to say just south of here, I think there might be some loose dirt.
Just south is where we got that mole bear room.
One of you want to run down there and grab it real quick?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Oh, you guys are going to split the party?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh. A DM's favorite phrase to say.
Right. I just want to run down into the room, grab a handful of dirt, think very hard at that mole bear. My friend, I'm going to ride you soon, and then run back up.
You try and leave the room. You try and walk away from the rest of your party, and as soon as you get to the door, you're frozen. You can't seem to move beyond the wall of this room.
All right.
Clever.
For some reason, some aspect of the wander spell seems to be keeping you with your party.
All three of us. Should all three of us go down
All
there?
three of
then?
us run down there real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know what they
All
say?
three of you.
The
All
party
three
that
of you
sticks
run
together.
down there. You see the mole bear. The mole guard is gone. You see the mole bear. It's still just happily digging its holes, throwing dirt everywhere. Filling the room with dirt and the walls. And so, easy to grab a big kind of cloak full or bag full of dirt, and then you run back into the room with the 4 bowls again. So, there you're back in the room with the 4 bowls. What do you do?
We finished the saying, the party that sticks together.
Ride
The
the mole
mole
bear.
So every time, each one of the basins, as soon as you place the right object in it, it starts glowing green. And the harp song in the middle of the room gets louder and louder. And then once you've got all 4 of them in, the basins stop glowing. And they turn back to kind of like cold gray stone, and suddenly all the spikes, the growing green lines move from all the bowls. They go to the center of the room, and you see the pedestal that the harp is on. It all begins glowing green. All the spikes freeze and then drop into the floor. And now the branch harp plays this beautiful chord that makes all of your hearts sing. You each gain 4 battle points, and your magic points are restored to the max. And now, strangely, a glowing orange door opens up on the east side of this room. But we're going to freeze there. And that's where we're going to wrap it up tonight.
Excellent. It is time for our reaction roll. Reaction roll is a live stream within a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the creator of a game that we just played and talk to them about what it was like to play that game. Today, we are sitting down with Matthew Carlson, who is the creator of WanderSquares. We just finished our play of WanderSquares number 1. I keep on forgetting one of the words. The Underwood Tunnels. I had an absolute blast playing it. We got to play it with some of my favorite folks to sit down and play games with. And now we are going to talk about it. Matthew, people who are just joining us, weren't here at the very beginning. Tell us a little bit about WanderSquares and what it's all about.
Okay. WanderSquares is a tabletop role-playing game with an expanding map that kind of builds itself at random, and it's paired with a choose your path adventure book. So each one of those squares that you're looking at right now has a corresponding page. It's like a little story within a story. And each one of the squares has actions you can take, outcomes that happen because of those actions. It's filled with, some squares are built to be kind of like battles and are definitely kind of dangerous. There's no shortage of monsters in here, but there's a lot of squares that are built to kind of give you clues, start building the story, begin to unwrap kind of the mystery of what's going on in the Underwood tunnels. And if you came in late, the Underwood tunnels started with you being sent on a mission to discover who's been stealing all the trees from the woods above, bringing them in under the beneath the winding wood and turning them into monsters. So you've been sent in here on a mission to rescue 3 major magic items, to find the tree singers, which kind of got left behind in this adventure. But you're going in to rescue the tree singers, find these major magic items, and solve the mystery of who's in the Underwood tunnels, turning trees into monsters. And the game itself is meant to be easy enough for new players or young players to dive right into role playing. It comes with 16 characters, pre-made characters. You can pick your class, pick your kind, pick a character that really fits your personality, and really kind of tried to create an adventure that made it really fun to take different characters and sort of play on through. So it's a really we almost got through. We would have got through the end of the adventure in about a 2-hour time frame. A lot of squares made it out on the table. It's really meant to be kind of the type of game that you could play this first adventure and finish it in a night or two, and hopefully have a lot of fun along the way.
Awesome. I do love that we all totally forgot we were supposed to save the tree singers also. Did y'all remember and just were like, screw them? Or were y'all, because I was like going to save them and y'all were like, let's leave these people trapped with this dragon.
I felt like we were woefully unprepared for that fight and could have found something better.
I was going to come back to him eventually.
I just forgot that they were important. I mean, like, I didn't want to leave. I thought we were going to chain them up and then, but I totally forgot that they were narratively important also.
I did tell you that they were narratively important. So that's like that
you
is one
did.
of the most.
That's not on you. That's just on me not writing that part down in my notes. I was like, cool items. Check. Wrote all those in my notes.
That is definitely one of the toughest squares. So I won't say. I mean, you chose wisely. You know, like that would have been that could have been a make or break moment in the adventure. But like all these things, there's usually a way to stealth your way through, talk your way through, battle your way through. That wasn't one that you probably could have talked to very much, but I tried to create like different paths and different adventures, so to kind of support lots of different directions for characters.
I love it. I just typed in the chat, but if you're watching somewhere besides Twitch and you have a question, feel free to drop it in. We're happy to bring them up on stream also. But let's find out what it was like for everyone to play. Let's start with Dan. Dan, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online. Tell us a little bit about your experience playing WanderSquares, though.
Hey, everybody. I'm Dan. I am a puzzle designer and podcaster and all sorts of other creative outlets. You can find me online at Dantendo64. I just wrapped up a really fun month of March creating puzzles through the Enigmarch campaign. That was a ton of fun. And I loved this. This was such a fun game. Very like a very novel approach, like a good mix of a board game and role-playing game. With the choose your own adventure aspect, I thought was really cool, and really love the whole setting and story of it. Like it's very engrossing, like from the get-go. I really loved that.
Awesome. Do you have any questions you want to ask, Matt?
I do. So you had said that like part of your goal in designing this game was learning how to design games.
Yeah.
What do you think was like the biggest takeaway that you learned from the process of designing this?
Well, some of these things I thought that my original concept was pretty novel. And I thought I just had a feeling that like this unfolding map that would kind of like come out at random and have all these pieces paired with like a choose your own adventure type of story. I just felt like that was going to be an effective thing. And at the time that I started this, which was like 5 years ago, that hadn't really, there weren't a lot of games out that were kind of looking at those patterns. So I felt really good about the core concept. But what I learned about a lot along the way, one of the major changes that happened through playtesting was just really simplifying battles. Because my goal here was to make something that would be an easy on-ramp to RPGs, and it wouldn't have all the complex mechanics and initiative rolling and all the stuff of some of the more, of course, Dungeons and Dragons, one of my favorite games. I wanted to create something that would be an easy on-ramp to that. But like I found out that I needed to make the battles simpler and simpler, because I'm playing with a lot of my playtesters were kids, and no one wants to roll for initiative. I didn't want, like, the first like 2 or 3 times that I was playtesting this with different groups of kids, battles bogged it down, and they actually got in the way of the story. So one big aha that I came up with is, how can I make battles simple enough and quick enough so that they don't interfere with the story? So I'm not rolling for damage. I'm not rolling for initiative. It's all just much more sort of straightforward. Everyone rolling at once. It's definitely a little bit of like more of a Yahtzee moment than everyone having to dive into some thick books to figure out what's happening.
Yeah, I love that. I think that was one of the things that really stood out to me, was the like simplistic battles in a way that felt like you said, that supported a story more than was like its own focus.
Yeah.
So I really love that.
Love it. Awesome.
I love that you guys all use spells and arrows quite a bit throughout this. I think that was really smart playing too, and I'm happy that worked out this time.
Once I remembered to flip over my character sheet and read them, I was like, oh, I got cool stuff I can do. Excellent.
That was great.
I was trying to get the dried mushrooms into the mix. I did not ever make that happen. But maybe next time. Aaron, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online, and what it was like to play WanderSquares?
Everyone, Aaron Gilly. I am an improviser and game player and game master who absolutely had a fantastic time playing with Dan and Tony with Matt's creation. And so you can find me on all the socials at Hey Gilly Gilly. Usually it's just me retweeting my funnier friends, or not as much.
Well,
not as much original content these days.
I really loved. You guys brought so much comedy to this. I really loved it. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Aaron.
Good. I'm glad that didn't get old.
That was great.
And so I loved the idea of this. Like, I love games where like the setting becomes like the fifth character. Like, it's kind of like that joke. Like people say, "Oh, New York is the fifth character in Sex and the City." But I like that element about this game though, because when you're playing with the board, you get this additional character about how all the tiles line up, and you kind of get this sense of, hey, wait a minute, we were just right beside this thing we need to get to. We're just right beside it, and not that existed until we got there. There's just something fun about seeing how the board develops, and so for me, that's just like another dimension of fun, is to see how that is created as we're moving from tile to tile. So, so that's really fun for me that you have the system that we can create that. So thank you for creating that as part of the game. And
it's funny. I only started thinking about when you were talking about it, like it is a little bit of concentration of like, was there that thing back in that other square? And you guys totally found it.
Yeah. Like imagine like, kind of going to your points about, how this was kind of inspired by some of the other games you played when you were younger. Imagine all the dungeon crawls or like hack and slash games where you had to just backpedal and retrace your steps after finding like the scroll or something like that. In this, you're kind of creating it as you go. And so, we just traveled, 2 hours through 24 different panels, and we ended up right next to the place where we came in. Great, what a fun coincidence we've created for ourselves. And so it's like fun little kernels that we get to uncover together. Next, my other question is, kind of going back to what influences you to when you're writing these or a game like this is, what's next? I mean, I know there's another companion chapter to WanderSquares, but I'm curious what other of those things from your childhood are you throwing into your next game design?
Well, I mentioned a little bit of the inspiration at the beginning of it. Of course, Dungeons and Dragons, Choose Your Own Adventure books, all the other kind of great RPGs I played growing up. You'll definitely find some Zelda-like references in here as well. Like, I think Legend of Zelda is probably the video game that I've played more than any other video game, and I love it both for kind of the adventure and the whimsy and the sense of overcoming challenges and roaming around freely. So I'm trying to like kind of put some of that into this. I'm drawing also not on just my inspiration, but like I think one thing that made me think of coming up with these modular squares, these map tiles, is just watching my own kids play with Minecraft and moving all these blocks around, and this very sort of modular aspect of that. So I love that as part of this as well. Those are some of the inspirations that went into the game. And then once again, I mentioned them at the beginning, but like from a tone standpoint, I wanted to kind of blend together like the kind of adventurous aspects of Dungeons and Dragons, but with a lot of kind of lighter, funner elements. Like my favorite shows are like Over the Garden Wall and Adventure Time and all these like really great cartoons that have these fantasy themes, but treat it kind of lightly. So I wanted to bring some humor into this as well. Those are some of the main things. And and you mentioned, so Underwood Tunnels is the first book, the first adventure. There's it's the first of 3. And this summer I'm going to be starting a Kickstarter for the Golden Hive, which is going to be the next big adventure. It's going to take place in the Winding Wood in the same universe, the same forest, and some of the clues that you all began uncovering. You guys have found like a lot of clues, not all of them, but you found a lot of clues in this adventure that are going to begin to kind of play into that next adventure once this one comes to completion.
Awesome.
I love that. That's great. Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah. I had a blast, but we had a couple questions from chat. Again, if people have more, let them know. The link to Dan's podcast information is in the chat for those who were curious. But the question was, when does the Kickstarter start? What will it include? Which you just covered a little bit on that sometime this summer. I've got a couple more follow-up questions about that. We'll hit them in a second. JP asks, will the characters continue from the first to the second game? I think my question is also like, how does progression work? Like, did we level up at the end of this event? No, I'm just kidding. Like there was, I loved how consistent there was treasures and XP and other stuff that came out, which created a really solid sense of immediate reward, which especially for younger players, I think is really helpful in letting them know like, oh, you're progressing and doing something. But tell me a little bit about how characters will both move forward in this game, as well as kind of how they carry into the second game?
There is progression, so the experience points do add up. You probably won't reach the second level at the end of this game, but by the after the second adventure, you would. The intent is, and I'm going to kind of do some really good load balancing to allow leveling up to happen after the second adventure, which leads to more spells, your core, the core items for your class, which is a bow or a staff or a shield. Those get stronger as you go. As you kind of level up, but that's the core progression. There will be progression. I'm going to keep on, instead of like 20 levels, it's going to cap out at 4. After that, then what's going to happen is you will continue to progress and grow by some of the artifacts or spells that you learn. There's a couple things that happen at the end of this adventure. Once you overcome the challenge and you leave the Underwood tunnels, there's a couple things that you will take with you as characters. So it's less you going up to like 20th level and more like all the experiences that you have. There will be some things that you bring along with you that will be important to further adventures.
Awesome. I mean, I love narrative scaling better than just, hey, you got more stuff you can do. So I love that. Also, if anybody picks this, because this one is available right now, you can go to WanderSquares.com to get it. You might be like, this is kind of a self-contained adventure. You could play through it, obviously, numerous times. It's going to be different every single time you play, but it does have a narrative thread through it. But it also comes with these, right? These kind of blank cards where you can build your own out and make your own references, as well as additional treasure cards. So you could take this same set, create another set of items, put people back in the same kind of setting and let them explore around more, or create a completely original one, which I loved this. Like this DIY aspect, especially with something for kids. I kept realizing I did not transition over, especially for something with kids. It's such a great addition to be like, you can start making your own dungeons and getting kids engaged in the design and narrative process right away.
Yeah. I have, if you go to WanderSquares.com to the download section, there's tons of free downloads in there of like draw your own adventure stuff, where I wanted to kind of enable anyone who wants to make an adventure like this to be able to draw their own monsters, draw their own maps. These are some kind of earlier prototypes where I think the first thing I did before I even built this adventure was create these blank squares that I would then use a ballpoint pen and just start going back to like what I used to do in junior high, drawing maps on graph paper, one of my happiest times. So these are like the all of these draw your own adventures. You didn't meet this character, but I drew all these things out in this sort of sketchy form. And then a lot of the things that you're looking at in the finished game are based off of almost literally trace these ballpoint pen drawings that I made in an earlier stage, because I want the game to feel like something a kid could draw. I want it to feel like something I could draw in middle school. So I want to keep everything not too polished, a little bit kind of warm, a little bit friendly. That's my goal.
So I love that. That's precious.
Yeah,
I was just saying,
great.
I do want to, like, I'm a big like game as product nerd, because I do a lot of marketing and other stuff like that. Like, I want a game to be a fun game to play. That is the most important thing to me, is what is it like to sit down and play or read or consume this game, whatever way is intended. But the presentation of WanderSquares is, I just want to say it again, like, so far above and beyond what I typically experience when I open things up. And as somebody who, like, and I received a free copy of the game for full transparency. The branded packaging that it arrived in, opening it up and getting the other box, like the box that everything comes in, like actually opening it up and pulling everything out and looking through it, like every piece is so tremendously beautifully crafted. Like, it's so interesting to hear, like, oh, I wanted something that feels like, a middle school kid could do with something that is so tremendously well produced. The graphic design, the layout, everything is just incredibly sharp and gorgeous. Did you do the art, or did you work with somebody to do that?
No, this is I did all this stuff.
This is like it came up in the chat, like JP who's also a designer who has beautiful games that have a very different feel, but a very, I think, similar style of, like, very approachable and very, like, gorgeous art. Had a lot of comments about it in the chat also too. So also gave us the idea to feed the mystery potion to the worms too. So thanks, JP, for saving us all.
That was really fun.
But I just love that. I mean, like, I that is, like, I know I'm always jealous when designers can also do art, because I'm like, dang it, the one thing that slows me down in game design, and you can just do it like a monster. But no, I loved the art. I didn't see any other major questions I think we didn't cover. I just want to make sure real quick, if y'all have one, go ahead and drop them in. But I thought it was a blast. I also love what you were talking about, like the scaling of play, the ability to start, and we started poking around with it more, like just saying like, hey, we want to do this thing, right? Or we want to do that thing, or I'm going to burn something, right? Whatever. Like you chewing us to sleep at one point in time. Like those were all really fun little flexes that I think like it's so exciting to see that a kid all of a sudden go like, well, this is on the art. Can I just pick it up, right? Can I have that thing? Sure. Like you can have that thing, right? Like if you've gotten to the point where you've realized you can just interact with the fictional space, being able to say yes to that kind of stuff is just so much fun. And I think this is like, I love whenever we get a chance to play a game geared at younger players, but specifically at how you onboard other players. One of my other fascinations is ways to trick people who think they can't play a role-playing game into playing a role-playing game for the first time. And this has such a board and table presence that anybody who didn't know they were playing a role-playing game wouldn't know, right? Like they would sit down, they would start playing, they would be flipping over cards, they would be moving people around a map, they would be using those different abilities, but it would feel very much like a board game to people who had never done it before and don't know how to step in. So for adults and kids alike, I think this is just tremendous. Rolled Standard also had just a really great comment in the chat, which was perfect entry-level game to ease kids into TTRPGs. If this was around when I was a kid, there may have been more people willing to play. D&D 3.5 is daunting as a 12-year-old. So, I think everybody who tuned in tonight had just a tremendous experience of playing. I always hate asking these questions, but I always want to know. So obviously, you've got another job. This is something that you do because you love doing it. You're excited to do it. Are you thinking like in the future, an adventure a year? Is that kind of what you're hoping for? Are you hoping to kind of escalate that as things pick up?
I'm hoping to get to an adventure a year, but once again, like I did this all by myself. I need to come up with a scalable model I would love to, if I can create a pattern here where I can, work with other creators, work with other artists, which is another thing. I wanted to kind of have this game feel like it's a template. Yeah. Like it's easy for someone to step in and design a game. I want to basically see if can I help? This is my learning experience of how to design a game. I really took this as a way to kind of test out this stuff. Can I turn this into something that is really easy for other kids, my kids, any kids who want to think about game design or explore game design? I want to turn this into something that would be easy for other people to do. I do want to try and get towards a game a year cadence. I think I can get towards that. I think over the course of this game, I finally developed a consistent drawing style, which has always been a challenge to me as an illustrator. I've been all over the map,
so good.
Literally. I think this time I finally kind of came up with something and a theme and a style that I felt really great in, and I felt like I could consistently execute against. I think I came up with a good sort of tone or storytelling style for those little squares. I'm kind of terrified of writing, even though it's a big part of my professional career. But I thought, like, if I can just break this down, I can write a square. I can write a little story, this little vignette, give some actions. And that became another way. I would say this whole process for me has been breaking down a big, scary task of design a game into tiny incremental things that I could chop off on.
Yeah.
Like, I won't be scared. I'll just draw a square. I won't be scared. I'll just write a square. So I wanted to kind of break this big, intimidating task down into something that I could tackle.
Modularity is such a huge part of that. I think it's a tremendous thing. And I do think that, again, like there's tools that ease young people into that, but that easing them into design and letting them draw squares, be their own design. I think that's huge. JP says, is it going to be 3 adventures total? But it sounds like it's going to potentially be more than that.
If you got this little booklet, which you can download, I believe that's up on WanderSquares.com in the download section. I'm pretty sure I put that up on there. There is a bigger universe behind this. So there's the first 3 adventures, and then that unlocks the really big mystery of something going on. Basically, the Wanderkind are these, they travel from world to world. They're a little bit kind of like wandering lost souls, a little bit kind of like I said, sort of fantasy Jedi type of feel. But something a huge disastrous thing has happened. All of these worlds are disrupted. You are landing into the first one, kind of solving and taking care of the challenges on this first world, these first 3 adventures. And then it begins to, and then there's more after that. It's kind of like the, oh, wait, we're in the Matrix type of feel. Or, there's going to, so once I get to that 3rd adventure, once I kind of, wrap up the 3rd adventure for this world, for the Winding Wood, then it will hopefully get much bigger.
Awesome. I love it. I do think there are a ton of people out there who would love to create in this space and in this universe. So whenever you're ready for that, I think you'll see a lot of people who will be interested in partnering with you, working with you in other ways. We're happy to continue to promote anything that you've got going on. I'm sure we would all love to come back and play the next one or whatever it's out too. So just feel free, let us know, reach out. I'll also say this, if we're ever at a con together, this would be such a fun thing to bring a bunch of blank ones, sit down on a table and just like spend a couple hours making a dungeon with people and then playing through that dungeon, like just doing it as a community project.
Full disclosure, I launched this Kickstarter in the middle of a pandemic, which was not maybe not the brightest thing, but I sort of feel like I had to get it out there. I've been working on it for years. Then of course, we were swept by that. I have never been to a gaming con, so I would love to meet you at a gaming conference. I just dreamed of that. I'm going to bring WanderSquares to conferences this year, and then suddenly everything changed.
Yeah.
And so I decided to try and go ahead and launch it anyhow. And it's gotten some pretty good feedback so far, but I can't wait to be at a con, playing this, drawing squares, hopefully meeting all of you.
Awesome. Well, I had a blast. Again, people go over to WanderSquares.com. You can check out the first one. You can also sign up for the mailing list to get notified when the next Kickstarter goes live. So please do that. It'll be this summer sometime. We are desperately looking forward to the next time we get to play. And I can't wait to just pass this along to my kids and play with them also too. So very much looking forward to it. I'm going to post a little bit about it over on TikTok later tonight, which I just started doing. So yeah, if you want to follow one more piece of video content that I create, which is exactly what no one wanted in their life, head on over to TikTok. But before you do that, go to WanderSquares.com and check out the game. We don't have a good way that we end stream, so until next time, we're just going to wave at the screen until I take us offline. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for playing. It was great to meet you, Aaron. Great to meet you, Daniel. Bye-bye.
Great to meet you.